what? If Ghana goes down, it's going to go down with many things directly or indirectly, including you. It's only good that if we love our country, that we speak good things about our country. I don't know if you have someone you love so much and you're always saying horrible things about the person. Do you really love that person? Well, you're asking me, but what if the person is doing horrible things? Even if the person is doing horrible things, you want to focus a lot more on the good things that the person is doing. There's something about the United States. They have a lot of challenges, but there's something about the United States that I personally really admire. You find their flag in many homes, flying everywhere. People just cherish their country, and they speak amazing things, and they speak so proudly about their country, not because they have less problems, not because they have a lot more wealth than other people. I have discovered, I remember one day doing a particular study in the United States as part of my doctoral studies, and I remember investigating or doing an immersion in a particular city in the United States, and they had so many problems in that city, and I thought, like, wow, even Ghana is better off in many ways than this particular city. And yet, guess what? They speak mighty things about their country. I want to encourage you, even if we all have criticisms about things that are not going right in the nation, but look, it is wise in loving our country to always speak positively about the country, because the words we speak, they carry life, they carry power, and they carry death. And so let's choose to speak good things about our country. Of course, if we have to criticize things in this country, we could be more constructive in saying those things. But let's speak great things about the country. Let's love our country. Let's volunteer. Let's do things for the good of society and for the good of people. As you do that, some people may criticize you, but please ignore them, because only small-minded people do not volunteer, and only small-minded people are not patriotic. This nation has been built by the toil and blood of our fathers, and it's up to you and I to continue to build this country and to make this country a great place for our children and our children's children and our children's children's children. We do have a legacy to leave, and I'm urging all of us together that we help to build a great country by loving this country, speaking good things about this country, and not just asking ourselves, what can the country or the nation do for us? But what can we do for this country? Have a beautiful day.
It's been quite chilly the past few weeks. Should we expect that to continue? I can't say, but the weather people know exactly what will happen. Let's take a look at what their predictions are. That's your weather update, and comments have already started coming in. Kojas and Park Furniture Works. Hey, this guy is a loyal viewer of GTV Breakfast.
In Kumasi?
Yes.
The
Edum Kumasi guy. Every morning.
Our guy on the ground in Kumasi.
Every morning he sends us messages. Thank you. We appreciate you. We can appreciate you too if you send your comments. Look, comment on our streams on Facebook, comment on our streams on YouTube. Send us your comments on our WhatsApp line is 05555610034. So we'll send us your comments and we'll interact with you and answer your questions as we go along. We're doing social media trends now, guys. I know that both of you will talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, so let me keep quiet and listen. Why is CR7 trending?
Well,
he's back.
He's made it official now.
At Manchester United.
He's back home, back to Batam.
Back to where he started.
Yeah, Sankofa.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
You're educating me, so I'm listening.
Yeah. Well, he's just looking in the skies. Yes.
I can't believe it.
Welcome to Manchester. We have new billboards, you know. Yes, thank you very much. That was the guy who brought him there. and he dedicated his return.
Say Alex Ferguson,
the big boss,
one of the greatest coaches.
Yes, indeed.
I mean,
yes, indeed, yes, indeed. It's good news. The tweet announcing, the message announcing his return on Instagram has received the highest amount of interaction ever. Yeah, it's a break
higher than Kim Kardashian.
Oh, if there's a break of the internet, his name is Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, and he's back.
All the best to him. I mean, I have loads of respect for CR7. I think he's a super talented guy.
Indeed.
I've admired his craft for many years. Admired him when he was at Manchester United, when he moved to Real and then Juventus. I still admire him. So since he's coming back to Manchester, I mean, I don't necessarily follow Manchester United, but you have to respect his craft,
of course.
I give him that.
Yeah,
so,
and I think he's doing great. I mean, he took a pay cut, 120,000 a week pay cut.
Some of the world's top flight footballers are taking pay cuts, maybe realizing that post-COVID or going forward, it will take a while for finances to be up to where they were, and so they also have to make some sacrifices. So it's commendable.
Good job.
So kudos to CR7 and obviously.
See how we are calm about it. I mean, this is just. Listen,
and you see how I am respectful of people's talents, even if they are not necessarily in my corner.
No,
so
you are a wonderful
Helen,
person.
Thank
great
you.
to work with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So are you. There's a comment here that said, "Hey, Mr. Day, you do all.
Which one be that?
Look sharp." I was like, "Where have you been? I didn't know you had joined it." Yes, I joined the TV breakfast, and so he says, "More grease to your elbow." Thank you for sending that comment over to us, Evans. And in Tutuka Obuasi.
Nice.
We haven't even started the policies. You have started. You have started. This is a lot. But you, bottom line, you said agenda 111 or code. Thank you. So that's what I will read. My regards to the hardworking DC Honorable Faustina Emisa Obuasi is. I'm sure the good honorable has heard your message and is very, very grateful. So another thing we are looking at this morning, last week when we aired the very emotional reunion between the good Dr. Winfred Hodasi and Lydia and Linda, the Siamese twins. Siamese twins. My pronunciation coach called me after Siamese twins that he separated. It's 1.1 million views on our Facebook page alone, and counting.
It's a lot.
So so many of you are sending messages to that stream, and we are reading through them. We are trying to put certain things in place so that what you are asking for will be able to deliver. But Chief of Staff, Madam Akosia Fremo Opari, has donated some money on behalf of the President to the now about to be operated on Siamese twins at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital.
All right. So that's a big dummy check, 14.3 million CDs. They pay the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. I guess they're having it at Rage. That's what it's called these days.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a big check.
Oh, well.
And we pray that the operation goes well.
Certainly.
Yes, so that there's
and thank you for giving that donation.
Indeed.
At least it's going
I'm sure the parents are very grateful because the Madam Eunice and her husband Benjamin, they made us understand that it's not very cheap, even post-surgery. It's not very cheap maintaining quality health, quality lifestyle for separated conjoined twins. So
and I
hopefully
guess
that will give them some sort of relief.
Yes, indeed. I'm guessing this is a gift. So GRA will want to be looking at the gift tax component of this particular donation.
Well, I would hope that if indeed they
it
should be a gift.
Yeah, it should be a gift.
I would hope that they wouldn't tax it because obviously the need is great. And
there was one also whose daughter got married, and then there was supposed to have been a 1 million CD gift, and
they called and said, bring the gift.
So
they said, oh, it's sewing. It's
so
not like $1 million.
If there's a gift tax there, please.
It's not physical $1 million.
Right,
shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Yesterday, Sina said,
shoot your shot. They said they should shoot their shot.
GRA can also shoot his shot.
No, this one they shouldn't shoot.
Collect their taxes.
They shouldn't shoot.
Well,
on my side, Wizkid is trending. I mean, it's a big win for Africa. In essence, him and Tim's.
Okay.
You know the song, right? I don't have a good morning voice, but then
Okay.
it's number 1 on the airplay chart. And then also Wizkid is now the most Shazam. I mean his song Essence.
So we're hearing it right
there
now.
it is.
So
Most Shazam.
Wizkid is a favorite of mine.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I like his vibe.
Have you been to any of his concerts when he came to Ghana?
I've seen him. I've actually had a sit down with
Oh,
him
okay.
before.
Nice.
I was privileged.
Nice, nice.
Wizkid is a favorite, so guys,
Okay.
yes. So there, yes, and then he's also, his song Essence, this one, is also the most Shazammed song in the world. It's past, it used to be Master K's Jerusalem, you know that song? It used to be that in 2020. But now Wizkid has passed that, and so Wizkid is the most Shazam. I mean, his song Essence is the most Shazammed in the world.
Okay. And those of you who don't know what Shazam is, it's an app where you can play like a pot. It identifies who composed a particular song.
The title of the
song. It
the
can give you links to the
album.
video, even lyrics and everything. SHAZAM. You can find
Shazam.
it on your Play Store.
And then just to chip in, yesterday Kumi Guitar, the High Life singer, he was robbed. You know, it's been going on. I mean, I don't know how Kumi missed this, but then it's gone on social media that if you're in traffic and your windows are down, kindly roll up or
Lock
just
the
put your
doors
valuables.
as well.
Yes, and so yesterday he was robbed, and then he did a video.
Okay.
He didn't say exactly where, but he said he was in traffic, and then he was charging his phone. It was around the gearbox area. And so somebody came on his side and said, "Oh, boss, so one he turned, and then he realized that,
Have been set up.
shoot!"
Yes.
By the time he turned, he was gone. So guys, it brings to the fore insecurity.
Yeah.
Tough.
It happened to me at Medina. I was just played like that. Oh, boss. Then all of a sudden, gone. I was played like a guitar. Yeah, so it's real.
So especially around the airport traffic lights.
Yes.
Anywhere there's a
But
slowdown
Go slow.
in traffic, or
Yeah,
you
but then
actually stop,
most
you have to be
it happens
careful.
a lot around the airport traffic lights. So guys, if you're out and even if you don't have an AC in your car, roll up until it's okay for you to move again, and then you know you're safe.
Sweat for 1 minute and keep your phone.
Or just put your phone under your seat if you don't want to do that.
Okay.
Messages on our Facebook stream. Kwame Loco, he said, "Good morning, Stanley. Currently in the Mind City." I don't know whether that's Obuasi. I presume it is. Kwame Apia, you're saying, "Good morning, Kafui. Watching live from Guildford, England, UK." Thank you for watching, Kwame, and good morning to you.
Your English
Done
has
with
come Kwame.
Kwame. It's Kwame, please. It's
You
Kwame.
just said Kwame.
It's Kwame.
Kwame.
So social media, well,
Wait.
COVID. Can I just say, as we always do every morning, our numbers are still not where we expect them to be. These are the current figures. Look at that screen. It's 7,151 active cases with 482 new cases accumulative. So from March 12, that we recorded our first 2 cases, is 119,436. Over 1,000 deaths. 1,036. One life is one too many, certainly. Over 1,000 is cause for worry. So do continue adhering to the protocols, wear your mask socially distant, and then wash your hands with soap and running water. Right, guys, this is a
Special one from the finance department at GBC to the staff of the EcoBank head office. I hear your screens are always on GTV, and this particular show is a favorite. So this it's quite a tall list, but I'm going to mention everybody's name
quickly.
So Charlotte Kwa, Eunice Essel, Rafaelaye, Richard Kwaku, Jacob Beidu, Kofi Wiafe, Jennifer Kumi Ado, Matilda Kwe, Doreen Dako, Brighton Sia, Sandra Bamfo, Emilia Moni, and Anna Beidu. All of you guys.
That is a long one. Thank you, Val. And thank you also for being on the social media side with us. We'll have that sit down with the Minerals Commission, and they'll be explaining the Minerals and Mining Support Services regulations, all that it means. So much more to look forward to in this program. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
Live from GBC Studio 1. 2006.
Everybody toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave, which have brought rain.
Celebrating Kwame Nkrumah this month, Ghana's first Prime Minister, Ghana's first President. The Osajifo was born in September, so we're dedicating September to celebrating him. So expect to see a lot of his information, his history, facts you did not know about him before. We are going to celebrate a lot about that great man, African man of the century, and we'll talk about that a bit later. Right now, it's our time with the Minerals Commission, as we do every Wednesday morning, and today they are here to talk about another regulation. And in today's time with the Commission, we are focusing on the Minerals and Mining Support Services Regulations 2012. It's LI 2174. In last week's edition, we looked at the rationale for the enactment of the Local Content and Local Participation Regulation LI 2431, the major elements and benefits to Ghanaian businesses. Today, we are looking at the support services, and we are privileged once more to have Mr. Collins Enim Saki with us. He is Director, Policy, Planning and Mineral Titles of the Minerals Commission. Good morning and welcome once again.
Good morning.
So we've talked about local content, and we've talked about local participation and how Ghanaian businesses can take advantage of some of the opportunities offered by the strict reserving of certain aspects of the mining industry for Ghanaian businesses. And so I'm sure that people have taken that in good faith. Today we are talking about support services. What exactly do we mean when we say that? Okay. Support services in the minerals
and mining industry. Okay, thank you very much. You'll recall that when we were talking about local content, we made mention of the fact that it applied to certain category of persons. It applied to mining leaseholders. It applied to prospecting or reconnaissance license holders. And then we made mention that it also applies to mine support service companies and those who have also been licensed to deal in minerals. So when you look at the first two, the mining leaseholders and the prospecting or reconnaissance license holders, you can put them into a category which we call the mineral rights holders. So these mineral rights holders have been granted licenses over a specified area to either mine or search for minerals over the area. What happens is that very often they do not do these things on their own. They engage other persons, other companies to provide services for them. So these companies that provide varying services to mineral rights holders are what we call the mine support service providers. You will recall when we said that certain activities have been reserved for Ghanaians, all these services can be classified as mine support services activities. So the mine support service, we can find this under our law, section 59 of the Act. It talks about the fact that persons may be registered with the Minerals Commission and may be given concessions to operate as mine support service operators. And to give effect to that section, we passed the regulation, which is the Minerals and Mining Support Services Regulation of 2012, LI 2174.
So in practical terms, what kind of actual activities do they support the mineral rights holders to provide?
Okay. If you pick the support services regulation, you notice that we have classified activities that are provided. We have Class A activities, we have Class B activities, and then recently we introduced the Class C, which can be found in the local content law. Class A activities include what we call contract mining. The mineral rights holder may choose to mine on its own, that is engage persons, staff that will be doing the mining for the company, or they can contract the mining to another company. So you can find another company working as a mine support service company doing contract mining for the mineral rights holder. Contract mining includes clearing of the vegetation, excavating material from the ground, drilling and blasting, transportation of the material to the processing plant on a turnkey basis. That is the contract mining. You can have companies that are supplying equipment to mining companies. I'm sure you may have heard of companies like Atlas Copco, Sandvik. These are all companies, Labor, Mantrac. These are companies that are supplying equipment to the mining industry. You have those that are also doing what we call assay laboratory services. They help the mining companies to know what is really contained in the ore, in the material that they have there. So we have SGS as a support service company that is providing laboratory services. We have ALS, we have Intertech. These are all laboratory companies. So, and a whole lot of them providing one form of service. There are those who are just registered to provide drilling and blasting services for the mine. So they will drill for the company, they will blast for the company and go away. That is all that they do for the company. Then we have some under Class B, which we talked about the other time. We said that Class B has been reserved for Ghanaians. And these Class B services include the security services, the catering services, the transportation or haulage services, and then contract mining to small-scale miners. These are all support service activities. Then we come to the Class C, which is reserved also for people who are within the vicinity of the mining area. And those include the weeding, the sweeping, the fencing, and then others. So these are the activities that qualify for registration with the Minerals Commission as a mine support service provider.
Okay, so I get from listening to you, Class B is reserved solely for Ghanaians.
Class B and C
is for persons
Also
in
within
the
the vicinity. So that's also Ghanaians.
Does that mean Class A is open to people from anywhere?
Exactly. Class A is open to anyone. Class A, you could be a foreign company. If you are incorporated in Ghana to provide that services, you can do that. Just like I say, Sandvik, Atlas Copco, Mantrac, Libre, they are not Ghanaian-owned companies, but they are incorporated in Ghana to provide such services. We also have companies like Rockshore. These are Ghanaian-owned companies, but they are providing some form of services to. So Class A is open to anyone.
Okay, and you sound like without these support services, the mineral rights holders may not be as effective. Would I be right to assume that?
Yes, that is true, because on the flip side of it, it means that they will have to carry out those services by themselves. That is, yes, the mining company will choose to engage staff for the catering services. What it means that they will have to have their own canteen and have staff there providing those services, and they will be paying those staff. They will not be contracting, because once you contract, some of your burden is taken off. You have to pay the contractor, and then the contractor will do the detailed aspect of it, of paying his staff. So yes, they can do it all by themselves if they choose not to engage support service providers.
But wouldn't you expect that once a company approaches Minerals Commission to say they want to go into prospecting for minerals,
yes,
gold, whatever, they would have the capacity to do it? Because now we are hearing that someone could get the license and then get other people to do it with this, for example, contract mining that you've mentioned.
Yes. When you apply for anything, licenses, let me say that prospecting and reconnaissance is just to search for minerals. You do not. But let me say, those who have the mining lease are the ones that can mine actually. Now, you look at the economics of the situation. At a point in time, I remember several years back, all mining companies were doing the mining on their own. In fact, as we speak now, some of them are doing owner mining. They are doing it themselves. But some of them also look at the economics of the situation and decide that, well, I think I'll be better off if I give the mining aspect to a company to do that for me. That is not to say that they don't have the capacity to do so. They can't do that. In fact, they have staff, management staff that oversee the activities of the contract mining.
And what criteria would you have to meet to be qualified to register as a support service?
Okay. When we first, and we being the Minerals Commission, introduced support services somewhere in the 90s, we're looking at some underlying principles. The first one is to look at companies that will produce locally, at least in parts, inputs that are used by mining companies and which previously they were importing them wholly. So in the past, before the early 90s, mining companies were importing everything. All the things, all the inputs that they use for the activities were being imported. When we introduced the mining support service companies, now it gives opportunity for some of these things to be done locally. And that is one of the underlying principles of the support service. The second one is those that provide locally services which in the past mining companies were depending on external parties to provide them. In the past, companies would bring consultants and every professional from outside the country to provide services for them. But with the introduction of support services, we have people who are providing such services locally. So that is the underlying principles. Now, to qualify for this, the regulation spells out the things that you need to submit to the Minerals Commission. You must be incorporated in Ghana. You cannot provide mine support services when you are not incorporated in Ghana with a register of companies. So one key thing is that you need to also submit your business plan for consideration by Minerals Commission to know exactly the nature of services that you are going to provide and look at the viability of that project as well. We also make sure that you need to, when you are working in the country, you need to comply with certain things. Your tax obligations, we need to know that. Your SNIT clearance certificates, we need to have copies of those. And then your bank statements or your financial capability to undertake the business that you intend to do. So these are some of the requirements that we need to present to the Minerals Commission for consideration.
Ideally, how long does it take for one to get the license once the application?
The registration will take, if you submit your application and there are no issues with that, within 30 days, you have to be registered. Of course, in the course of the review of your documents, if there are any issues, we have to get back to you to make sure that you do right things that were not.
Right. And what's the fee? Are there...
There are fees.
It's a charged service.
There's a charge service, yes. The application form is standard for all of them. For Class A and Class B, the equivalent of $250 is the application fee. The processing fee of the $500 equivalent of is the processing fee for Classes A and B. For Class A, the fee itself, registration fee for mine support service, is the equivalent of $10,000.
How much?
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yes. And then Class B, which is reserved for Ghanaians, is the equivalent of $6,000. For Class C, because we're targeting and looking at the people within the vicinity of the fee ranges from 80 cedis to 1,200 Ghana cedis.
How come some of the charges are in dollars and some are in cedis?
Well, for those within the vicinity, yes, we decided to keep them. In respect of Class A and B, it's already contained. That is what is contained in the law, and I think it was done because of the, mining is an international business. We had people paying from outside the country, and then we also were in a situation where, in the past, it was difficult because of the way that the city was running. It was becoming difficult for us if you have to ask people to pay fees in cities. It means that every year you need to have to change your fee schedule. But this is the dollar rated is put in the regulation, and that is what we apply for the past since 2012. It has never been changed.
So you pay the cedi equivalent of that dollar amount, right? And how is the support services registration different from the operating permit?
Okay. There is another regulation, and I'm sure as we move along, one of my colleagues will also come and take you.
There's quite a number of regulations.
As I said, yes, we have about 8 or 9 regulations in place now. There is one called Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulations. And that deals with the health and safety issues on a mine. Now, one is registered with the Minerals Commission. Either you have a license as a mining leaseholder, or you have a license as a prospecting or license reconnaissance license holder. If you want to enter the property to carry out your activities every year, you need a permit that allows you to enter the permit and carry on with your activities. And this is very important because we have inspectors, mine inspectors, that provide competency certificates and education to members or the staff of the companies. And it's important that we make sure that you operate in a standardized manner, you operate in a manner which is acceptable in terms of health, safety, and then other means. So it is important that, yes, you obtain a operating permit. So the first thing is that you must first be registered. One of the prerequisites for obtaining an operating permit is that you already hold a license. If you do not hold a license, you cannot be given an operating permit.
Right, and so from what you've explained, your operating permit is what you get after you've been licensed.
After you've been licensed to mine
prospect,
or to search for prospects.
And then the support services.
And to provide support services as well. Yes.
Okay, right. So I get that now. And what are the sanctions if people do not comply with these laid down rules that you're explaining to us?
The first requirement is that once you are registered as a mine support service provider, you need to submit reports, monthly reports and annual reports. Failure to do so constitutes an offense, and you can be sanctioned for doing that. You will be required to pay a fee of $1,000 equivalent if you fail to submit an annual report or a monthly report to the commission. And then if it persists, you pay $100 equivalent each day. Other offenses include if you obstruct an officer of the Minerals Commission from carrying out its obligations under the regulation, that is also an offense. For instance, if an officer comes to your facility to carry out monitoring activities or inspection activities and prevent the officer from entering, that is an offense. The second one is if you provide information to the Minerals Commission, information that you know that it's false or misleading, or you ought to have known that it is false and misleading, you can be sanctioned for that as well.
Right. I think we'll come back again next week, and then we'll look into this law in a bit more detail, because I'm sure that people will be very interested in where to even go to apply for some of these services, and you might want to make some numbers available. What would your final comments be as we wrap up on this topic? A quick one before we move on.
Thank you very much. You cannot separate local content from mine support service. We're doing local content because we want Ghanaians to grow up and have the opportunity to provide services to the mining industry. And now, once we're able to reserve certain services for Ghanaians to take advantage of and to provide such services to the mining industry, it's important that they get to register as mine support service providers so that they can be taken through, they can be regulated. You agree with me that when there are no regulations, there will be chaos. So it's important that once we take advantage of local content regulations, the opportunities, let us also register as support service providers so that we can provide services to the mining industry.
Thank you, Mr. Enim Saki. Mr. Collins Enim Saki is the Director, Policy Planning and Mineral Title of the Minerals Commission. Thank you, sir, for appearing on today's session with your commission. And they've been trying for the past few weeks to explain the local content and local participation regulation when it comes to the mining industry. Today we've talked about support services and how you can apply. We've talked about fees and charges. We've also talked about offenses. So hopefully you are better informed about those issues, and we'll have the opportunity to engage once again on this matter a bit later if it's possible. Let me quickly acknowledge Awake Purified Mineral Water, Adunko Next Level Energy Drink, and Shield Acrylic Paint for partnering with us. Thank you also Barbara's Couture for my lovely outfit. Barbara's Couture is on Instagram, Barbara_Couture. Follow on Instagram to get lovely outfits like this. And we'll hit town and we are monitoring traffic. Nikita is around the Achimota Tesano stretch, and she'll tell us now what's happening there. Nikki.
Hi Thelma, this is Rush. Yeah, welcome to Rush Hour, where we give you live updates on the traffic situation around town. So today we are on the Tesano stretch, the Tesano Road, and behind me we have the George W. Bush Highway, where commuters are able to navigate themselves towards La Paz, Accra Mall, and then beneath the highway you can go through that road and head towards Achimota. And as we can see on my right, the road is clearing up. There was a bit of traffic due to the traffic lights up ahead on this stretch. We have the Papaya building right on this stretch. The commuters are able to flow through the traffic, although there's the occasional standstill because of the traffic lights. But it clears right up. I don't think commuters would have any trouble taking this route, although it seems in a little while there will be a bit of traffic. We can see that the traffic lights are working perfectly on the whole stretch. As we're coming, that all the traffic lights were working perfectly. There is no sighting of any policeman, although there is a police station right ahead. We can see the police. We can see the traffic lights up ahead also working very well. We can see that it is green, so commuters are able to go through with a little bit of traffic, but not too much. And moving to the left, we have the police station right there, and we have the other side of the road where traffic is free flowing and commuters are heading towards the La Paz Accra Mall stretch. Yes, so this is what we have for you from Tesano. Back to studio.
Thank you, Nikita. Thank you so much for those details. Wow, Achimota, looks like that's a moving traffic. My colleague Nikita is saying that could very well change because you can't predict traffic on the Achimota stretch. I'm hearing from my producer, but I'm not quite getting what you're saying. Let me read quickly a few of the messages that we are getting on our streams. And Princess Irajwa, you say, people should obey the safety protocols. Please wear face masks. Thank you for that message. Kwekunyako, my name is KK from Kaswa, American Town. John Mahama. I will not read that part, but you're saying greetings to Honorable Mavis Hawakumsen and Anita Love Obo Emisa. Thank you for sending that chat to us on our WhatsApp line. Hello, good morning. My name is Namiche. You guys are doing a great job. I'm watching you with my son Ephraim all the way from Kintampo, Bono East region. We are self-quarantining ourselves in our isolation, our own way of preventing the spread. We just want to encourage all COVID victims to stay strong and stay alive. Certainly a good one. We want you alive. Teacher Kojo Tiobodom Adantase, that's a long message. I'm not able to read everything. You keep it as short as you possibly can. And let me quickly say that there's so much to look forward to in this package. What do I mean? The life have an opportunity to engage you on the important question, where did you meet your partner? So start getting your stories ready, share them with us, send them to our social media platforms. We will read your comments. I will be sitting down with the president of Rotary Club International. So Rotary Club is not only in Ghana, it's in many other countries across the world, and the international president is in town. He'll be joining us for breakfast this morning on GTV, and you would not want to miss that conversation. So still ahead, there is the headlines, and you don't want to miss that as well. CAF will be sitting down with the politicians to examine what is in the papers this morning. And so stick and stay. We'll be right back with more on GTV Breakfast. We're still doing rush hour, and we are in the Ashanti region, and my colleague Alan is going to give us details. Alan, where in the Garden City are you, and what can you tell us is happening there?
Hello, good morning and welcome to the Garden City of Ghana. We are specifically coming to you from Tech Junction. This stretch of road is the main road connecting Accra to Kumasi, and it is the same road that leads or heads out from Kumasi into Sunyai, Tamale, and the rest of them. Interesting this morning where we are and the kind of traffic you can see. From the shots behind me, you see a build-up coming directly from the roundabout in front of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, heading out towards Amaga Junction, northwards from where I am standing. I must commend the people of the Ashanti region, especially for their discipline when it comes to observing traffic rules and regulations. We have a pedestrian crossing, and I must say, unlike what we're used to in Accra, where pedestrians use a different one, you can see from the aerial shots, if you have it now, that pedestrians are very, very disciplined in their use of the footbridge. Every one of them seem to be keeping to the footbridge. Drivers, on the other hand, have a little issue with trotro drivers. And interesting, that attitude of trotro drivers seems to be the same everywhere you go in Ghana. They're packing hard to drop off passengers or pick up passengers. Besides them, commuters do not have so much to worry about, because though the traffic is building up, it seems to move at intervals of about 2 to 4 minutes every time. And once it sets out to move, it moves really very fast. And so commuters are not having to sit in traffic that long waiting for someone to move out of the way before they get on. You'll also realize that because it's rush hour, hawkers are really very busy, and every now and then we'll have a hawker trying to cross our shots. If that happens, please, this is rush hour, and that is what you get in Kumasi, the garden city of Ghana. Coming back to you in the studio, Thelma.
Thank you, Daryl. Do say hello to our good friend Kojo Asempa for us as well. He always sends us messages, and since you're in the garden city, tell him we say hello, which will not be necessary because I'm sure he's watching. Kojo, good morning. Thank you, Daryl, for those updates from the Garden City. Tech Junction traffic appears to be flowing freely on that side. So much to look forward to on this program this morning, and we'll be back to do headlines with CAF after the break. Please do not go away.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try was suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do. We go straight to start. I'll take you to next level. Baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
What's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Sing me dawasio, me dawasio, me dawasio, da, and yebe to Ebenezer. Nyami hatumarakwa kainyo yemya yemao nafanasi mano. Tomorrow, kainyo
for the toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave which have brought results.
All right, hashtag GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafui Day. Welcome to the show. 1st September, and this month we are celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and that was the quote that we kicked off the month with. It is clear that we must find an African solution to our problems, and this can only be found in African unity. Divided, we are weak. United, Africa could become one of the greatest forces for good in the world. Kwame Nkrumah. Stay tuned for more quotes every day on today's show. Still to come, a conversation on Rotary issues. Rotary International President is in town, and Thelma will be sitting down with him. How did you meet your partner? That's the question that Val wants you to answer, and you can start by giving us your responses to the question. 055-556-1034. Lots of headlines making news today, and to help me with those discussions, I have to my extreme left the Honourable Member of Parliament for Zabzugu, Hassan Umar, MP. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Awesome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a delight to host you. And former MP for Ikunfi, where the best pineapples in the world are grown. The Honourable Francis K. Atukujo.
Yeah.
Machi.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay. Are the pineapples still sweet?
They're very sweet.
They're still sweet.
And then we have a Kumfi juice.
Okay.
Yeah, that is now the most preferred juice drink on the market.
For real?
Yes.
And they are still in business?
Oh, yeah, in business.
Okay.
They're in business. Don't listen to those publications. Pineapple is a seasonal product, and so we have some challenges. Okay. But now production didn't stop. They were doing 2 productions a week.
Okay.
But now they are doing more productions.
Okay.
I have some. Unfortunately, I didn't bring some. I'll let my guy draw some with you guys. We are a team today.
Honorable Umar looks quite interested in it. You would like to enjoy. Have you tasted some of that juice before?
No.
No, you haven't. Okay, so now
is it one of the one distro, one factory product?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not a good. I'm not.
Are you not part of the people? Are you not part of the people who visit the factory?
I don't like free things.
You don't like free things?
Freebies.
You don't like freebies?
This government is full of free.
Which one is free?
Gentlemen, we shall kick off the conversations pretty shortly.
Anyway, I'm also a former.
Yes.
Even though I'm in court.
Former, yes. Former MP for Zabzugu, definitely.
Yes.
So you are both former.
We are all.
Are you enjoying your time as former MPs?
Oh yeah. For me, I think I'm having good rest.
Good rest there. How about you?
It's okay.
He's going to court every day, so he's very busy.
All right, listen, we will talk about a very interesting report that came out yesterday. It's making waves in the news. It's a particular report, post-election survey that was conducted by the Center for Democratic Development. On the line, I have Dr. Kojo Asante, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD. Good morning, Dr. Asante. Welcome to Breakfast right here on GTV.
Good morning, Kafui. Pleasure to see you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Tell us about this report that was published yesterday. I heard excerpts of it in the news. What exactly is this a survey that was published by your organization?
Well, thank you, and good morning to your viewers. So this is a post-election survey. In the past, we have done other surveys that we do the Afrobarometer every other year. We started doing pre-election surveys, and the whole idea of the pre-election surveys was that, going to election, it was very important for the institutions that are tasked to prepare for peaceful, credible elections, at least get to understand how the people themselves are preparing for the elections, how to correct if there are sort of information gaps, any threats, on the security side, and so on. So that has been valuable to sort of securing peaceful elections. Now, a post-election survey is really to give an early take, after the government has been installed, to get a sense of what are the citizens' expectations on the manifesto of the government that gets elected. What are they expecting that the government would undertake, implement? What is the evaluation of what has transpired in the past? What confidence do they have in the ability of the government to deliver? It sort of offers an early feedback to the government that has been installed, so that in terms of their policy implementation, they're able to adjust their expectations and their inputs as we go along. So, I mean, we see it as very valuable. We've always complained that our democracy tends to focus mostly on elections, and then when we get into governance, it becomes, people kind of turn off. So, I mean, I think we really have to pay attention once we have now given a mandate, how that mandate is executed.
Right.
There should be something of interest.
Right. Is this the first time the CDD has published such a post-election survey?
Yeah, the first time. This is the first time we're doing it.
What period of time did this survey cover?
So this is May, June of this year, 2021. And I can talk a little bit about the methodology. So all our surveys are national representative sample surveys, in the sense that this is a survey of 2,400 respondents of adult citizens in Ghana. The distribution of the sample mirrors what is in the national population in terms of all the demographics, age, rural, urban, distribution across the regions, and so on. So if you've seen the report, you will see that there is a number of markers that sort of shows you how it was the percentage of women, men, rural, urban. All of those things have to mirror the 2,400. The key to any representative sample is really the randomization of the sample. So normally we will go to statistical service for them to generate what they call enricher areas. These are sort of communities across the country, and that is done by random. So wherever they pick is where you have to go. And then once you get there, there are protocols for, where you walk, how you select houses. When you get into the houses, there are protocols for how you select respondents. All of that is random, so that it gives every adult Ghanaian in the country an equal chance of being selected. And that's what is able to give confidence in terms of the responses that you are getting, so that you can generalize across the population.
Right. What were some of the key findings in this survey?
So there are a couple of questions that we asked in this survey. A set of them is around the prospective evaluations of government service delivery performance. So we ask people that, okay, looking ahead, do you expect the following conditions to be better or worse by the end of the government's second term in office? Protecting human rights, fighting corruption, promoting collaboration between the ruling opposition. You have questions around the very specific policy initiatives of the government. You have questions around, certain issues like fixing infrastructure, providing education infrastructure, fighting small-scale, illegal small-scale mining, dealing with due diligence with foreign contracting, dealing with official appointees alleged to be involved in corruption, and so on. So there are quite a lot. And then we also have a set of questions around Parliament, because, the outcomes of the election was quite interesting. You had for the first time a speaker from the minority opposition, NDC, being elected as speaker. So that was new. We also had a semblance of a hung parliament. So we wanted to get a sense from Ghanaians, what do they expect from Parliament, this composition of Parliament.
Okay.
So I can go through a few if you...
Let me pick on a couple of key ones.
Yeah.
What did respondents say about the fight against corruption? What were the findings that came out of that question?
So I would refer to two questions that dealt with that. So on the looking ahead, weather conditions will be better. The 30% of respondents say it will be much better or better. 21% say it will be same, and then 47% say it will be much worse or worse. And then there was a question about confidence. And the question is, how confident are you that in the next 4 years, the Kufuor government will be able to curb corruption and impunity by government officials? There, 35% says they are very or somewhat confident, and 62% say they are not at all or not very confident. So that's those are some of the results in respect of the issues around managing or curbing corruption.
In terms of the hung parliament, how confident were the respondents that the current parliament, as it is constituted, would be effective in passing laws and doing what it's supposed to do?
So one set of question asks, in your opinion, how likely or unlikely it is that the current parliament, with the MPP and NDC having an equal number of seats, would, ensure attendance, improve parliamentary practice, keep the executive in check, aid scrutiny of international contracts. Generally, you find positive, feedback on all of those things. But when you ask, how likely that, things like slowing down decision making, whether MPs will connive more on issues that affect them, disrupt MPP government business and agenda, make business persons unsure of the outcome of government policies and programs, then you begin to find lower, people are less positive about those things. So there's some optimism that a parliament would deliver, much more independent parliament. But at the same time, they also see certain behaviors, negative behaviors are still going to be present even in the hung parliament.
Before I let you go, what were the key expectations of respondents in this survey as to what the government would do for them, or what the system of governance would do for them? What were they expecting?
I think with that, you have to go to some of the key initiatives of government. So if you ask, how confident they are in the ability of the government to fulfill its manifesto promises, to consolidate the gains of the free SHS program, 52% says yes, they are very confident or somewhat confident. 45% say not at all or not confident. If you ask about one district, one factory, 40% say they are very or somewhat confident. 57% says not at all confident or not very confident. And then when you go to planting for food and rearing for food and jobs, 49% say they are very or somewhat confident. 47% says they are not. Expanding the 1 million one district, one constituency initiative, 35% say very or somewhat confident. 61% say they are not at all confident. So even in terms of the initiatives, you can see some variation in terms of people's optimism or confidence in government's ability to deliver on those promises.
And finally, what surprised you most from the findings of this survey?
I think for me, the question around corruption is worries me. I wouldn't say surprises me, because it almost feels like there's even among the population, they seem to have surrendered to the idea that we really cannot combat it. And that worries me. So I hope that this kind of findings and these kind of surveys can reignite, a good conversation about, how we get back to the business of dealing with the canker of corruption. Because I cannot see how we develop without addressing this problem.
Dr. Kojo Asante, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at the Center for Democratic Development. Thank you very much for your time. Wish you a great day.
You're welcome. Good morning.
You're watching hashtag GTV Breakfast. WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. 055-556-1034. How do you feel about the findings of this particular report, post-election report from the CDD? And I'm going to go straight to you, Honorable Atokujo. Yeah. What are your feelings about this report?
I just read the summary, the executive summary, and I don't see anything quite different from what I know and what I feel. The country is so much polarized. And so my view is that most of the respondents may not just speak in what they feel, it's what they believe, or what they have been told to believe, or have been made to believe.
You're discounting the responses of
I'm not discounting the responses of the respondents. What I'm saying, that today if you go to town and then take 10 people, you are likely to find about 50 to 60 of them being NPP, or 50 to 60 of them being NDC. So if you look at the responses, it's splitted along that line. You understand? It's a split along that line. I'm not discounting what they said. So I'm saying that I am not surprised by the kind of responses that we had. But you see,
are you surprised, for example, that 62% feel that this current administration cannot handle corruption, cannot deal with corruption?
You see,
is that polarization? That's
you see,
6 out of 10.
You see, the truth of the matter is that we ourselves politicians have not done ourselves very good. Because there are so many things that we push out there as being corrupt practices, and there's general corruption in the system, the society as a whole. Every sector, every segment, there's some amount of corruption. And sometimes we portray certain issues which really are not issues of corruption.
Like?
Oh, there have been a lot of instances in this country.
Give me one.
Sorry, I'll get there. I'll give you one, don't worry. For instance, this Kelvin G whatever thing that we did. When we came, it's a program that had been done for them. We came and we saw that the price was so huge. We negotiated and brought it out. Eventually, they turned out to attack us, who have reduced the cost of the project as being corrupt. We had the same thing with the digitization thing that was done. They were doing that at a higher price. You come and you change it, then they say, oh, there's some corruption element there. So you push those things out, and people take it, they think that everything government is doing, there's corruption in it. I'm not holding brief for anybody, but I'm saying that sometimes we overproject ourselves, we politicians, we overproject ourselves out there. And we do the division within the society, we do the division within the community. We portray the message in the minds of our people. So over time it becomes a discourse. Let me give you a very good example. When we were having the 1996 elections, 2000 elections, when President Atamils won, there was a circulation in the center.
Atamils won in 2008.
2009.
2009, forgive me. There was a circulation in the central region. That is when Kufuor was in power. Sorry, it was 2008, when Kufuor was in power, when we were going to election. There was a circulation with a whole list of bank accounts. That Kufuor's account at Prudential Bank is this. This person. If you put it together, it is far bigger and larger than the whole GDP of Ghana put together. And this is money that was something that was circulated in the central region as belonging to these politicians. And it really worked, because look, and they were sharing it everywhere. So the person who sees this and doesn't understand that if you put all the money together, it's even bigger than Ghana GDP, we say indeed they are corrupt.
Are you saying most Ghanaians are not intelligent? They can't read?
I'm saying that we politicians, sometimes we sell things out there for political advantage or political experience, which really shouldn't be the case. So we are not getting around this discussion to address the issue of corruption. Let me tell you. I
want to bring in the Honorable Umar.
Now come in. You come in. Go to the port. See what is happening there. Is it being caused by politicians? What my friends, when I make this argument, what they tell me is that the politician has the ultimate power. No, he doesn't have the ultimate power. The directors.
Who has the ultimate power?
There are directors and everybody there. People who are constitutionally given power.
Who appoints the heads of those organizations, those institutions?
So constitution gives me power to appoint the head. The head also has the power to control it. The president sits at the Fax House. He's not looking at the nitty-gritty of the place every day.
No, but
somebody
he has a minister and he has people who are on the ground.
The minister is not the one who is... Minister is to
policies, yes. But if the president...
you see, you are going the same way. You are going the same way.
If the president appoints somebody to run a state institution, who is that person?
Listen, the president has the ultimate belief. But I'm saying that if we can fight corruption, if we can build this country, then those that we use the state's money to pay, we have given them positions, we have given them cars, we have given them houses, house help and all that. And then we'll pay that at the end of the month. Why can't you hold them accountable?
Okay, let me bring in Honorable Umar. I saw you nodding in agreement with a lot of the survey findings. Do the findings make you happy?
Not really. I am sad with the findings in a way that the jury is out. And it is not good for Ghana. This is the same group of people who claim they were coming to undo corruption in Ghana. The former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, was vilified more than any. And yet, today, the Ghanaian jury is out with a verdict, and that President Akufo-Addo and his MPP government is corrupt.
That's not what the report
That is what...
Look, that's not what the report says.
That is what the report says. Look,
the report says that
please.
62% of the respondents
62%
believe that this administration cannot
fight corruption.
It is corrupt. When the president...
That is not true, please.
Please,
if you say that,
please,
let's
do analysis.
The report is here.
Pointed out what he said. Let me hear what he says.
Let's do the analysis.
The report is
so
here.
let's stick to what the report said. The report said 62% of respondents believe that the administration cannot fight.
Cannot, what does it mean?
That you
it's
cannot
corrupt.
fight.
If you cannot fight it, then it is corrupt.
You are making implications out of it, but the report is saying what happened. They ask people questions.
I am not making the implication. It's just like when you go to the doctor and they say, look, the cancer has advanced or disease has advanced to this stage. We are now going to be on palliative. You are a palliative patient. What does it mean? It means that you are just going to be taking medication to death. Nothing is going to bring you alive. Nothing. You know, interestingly, if you look at all the corruption, insecurity, everything that this report has put out there, and it says that they went to statistical service, to collect, the problem area and collect the demographic, and went out there with the stimulation, a demographic that represents the nation. It's the same government that talk about news and taxes today. They are even taxing us on these things that we are wearing, whilst other countries are providing resources to cushion the hardship Ghanaians are going to, their citizens are going through. My brother sit here to say that politicians are the cause of all these perceptions. I beg to differ. If politicians are the people who create the perception, then it is his side that creates the perception. Today, coming from Medina, the truck driver knows the difference between, infers how much they paid last month and this month. Private people who have private cars knows the difference in what? Fuel, hardships. But those in government don't feel the hardships. And there's nothing that you can tell them that Ghanaians are suffering today. Look, it's the same president who claimed that he was coming to create special prosecutor to corrupt, to do what? To eliminate corruption and prosecute perceived corrupt acts. What happened? There was a disagreement. The same person he hired, Mr. Martin Amidu, called whom?
So basically, this CDD report supports your argument.
It supports my argument, but it supports my argument very.
You're pretty excited about it.
Of course. But you see where I said I'm sad. In Dagbani, there's a proverb that says, or an adage, that it is only a foolish person who wish for bad things to happen. Because when it happens, you will also be affected. This corrupt government, name it, from here to Zabzugu, where I come from, is everywhere.
So if your administration were in power, what would you do with a report like this?
It would not even reflect something like this.
No, but assuming that you received a report like this, how would
we'll go back to the drawing. We'll go back to the drawing board and see look at our manifesto, look at our policies, and look at the people, the caliber of people that we hire to put at responsible positions, including the president.
Mr. Kujo.
Where we say the buck stop with the decision
Mr. Kujo,
maker. Who is the president?
Is the NPP shaking with this report?
Oh, I told you that these are things that are generally known. Sorry.
It's normal.
For me, you see, listen, let me state it for the benefit of those who may be misled by what our brother is saying. It says that...
Briefly, we want to move to the next topic.
Okay. On corruption, oh, sorry, but there's also another one here. Majority of Ghanaians, 52%, are confident that the second Akufo-Addo administration-led government will consolidate the gains of free SHS. Sorry, the things are too small. So, but there was another one I wanted to read, where they believe that the president in his second administration will do a little more better over the program, because the programs that have been rolled out earlier.
Which program?
So there are a lot of programs that have been rolled out. One factory is taking shape. Close to about 100 factories are now working. I will not talk about SHS, because SHS is a lot of the government programs that were at the teaching level. I was in the fisheries. We were basically doing fishing harbors for the fishermen. These are, we launched the project, we couldn't do a lot of them. Now, about 10. The 11th one is being done in my constituency, and it's going on now. All these things are being rolled out. So by the time the 8th year, most of the project that was started, whether in infrastructure...
You believe by 2024, things would have panned out nicely for you?
And then we are going to win the 2024 elections.
With Amtristan.
We are going... No, Amtristan.
All right.
Well,
gentlemen, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen, those of you watching, 05556-1034. So the Center for Democratic Development has released a post-election survey report, which asks lots of questions on issues and confidence in the government to deal with issues and things that affect Ghanaians, and a lot of findings have been made. It's out online. Go look for it and have a read for yourself. But we spoke to Dr. Asante of CDD, and my guests here, Honorable Umar and Kujo, have been having their take on the issue. What's your take on it? Let's find out from you. I want to now dive swiftly into today's daily graphic, and there's a story here on child beggars. And the question is, are authorities helpless? The menace of street children in Accra is getting out of control. Department of Social Welfare under the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection seems to be helpless. And so the Daily Graphic has been consistently touching on this menace of street beggars, but it appears there's no end in sight. There are more and more children on the streets, and it flies in the face of the push to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. And so the streets must be rid of beggars, hawkers, loiterers, and mentally challenged. So you have parents extending their begging activities to the next generation, employing their children to go beg. There's peddling. Now you see these little children, Ghanaian and foreign, trying to sell you earbuds, masks, toothpicks, shoe polish. It appears that the authorities are at their wits' end. So you can see pictures of that on the streets. They gave you all kinds of sad stories. They want to clean your windscreens. It looks like there's an invasion of these children on the streets. The chief director of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection was contacted by the Graphic, and they said the ministry alone could not tackle the issue of street children. But they are initiating something with the Ministry of the Interior to make sure that this happens. There needs to be a lasting solution. I mean, that's an astounding comment to make, that the ministry cannot handle this issue. Don't you think so, Mr. Bujo? I mean, that's astounding.
Maybe I don't have benefit of whatever the person might have said.
Well, I just read it to you.
You read it to me. So
yes.
I'm saying that if that is a statement, then it's quite unfortunate, because whatever it is, they have to be at their prime, I mean, of fighting this situation. I don't know the effort that are going in over time, but what I know is that across, not just in Accra, across the country, we have issues that relate to social welfare. Of children, of minority people, of women and all that.
Is it happening in Ikufi?
Oh yeah.
You have street beggars in Ikufi?
Not street beggars really, but a lot of, especially in the coastal areas, a lot of children not going to school. We know that the improvement in school enrollment when we introduce school feeding to most of the communities. But then what I'm saying is that the social welfare, over the years, they have not been so much resourced to be able to do what they are supposed to do in the society. Now, in the world that we are living in, when we are measuring development, I think in our side of the world, while in advanced world, people are looking at social welfare, health issues, and many other issues. We are looking at cement, brick, and mortar as mentioned our level of development. But I think that we should get to the understanding that these things have changed, so that we give a lot of money to issues that affect the health and the well-being of our people, especially of children, of the disabled, of women. You know, those people, we need to give a lot of attention to them, because it doesn't, when you see this...
When you say we, who are you talking about, me and you?
As a state, as a nation, and as a government.
Yes.
As a government, as a state,
yeah,
we need to prioritize these things.
Why is it not happening? Why isn't the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection
what I'm saying is
out of its game?
But I can't speak for Ministry of Gender and Children Protection, but I'm saying that over time, the social welfare has not been so much resourced and empowered to be able to do what is expected to do.
Why not? You've been in government before.
If you ask me, I'll tell you.
Tell me. I've asked you.
We don't have money in this country.
For that?
We don't know, not for that. Our budget, where we do our budget, the revenues that come in is actually not even getting us to do what we want to do. We are a developing country, so we probably have to manage our finances well so that we can have a lot of money going to these areas.
So what, children are not important?
I'm not saying children are, but that's the discussion we're having here.
Yeah, I know. You just
I'm saying that it is time for us also to take our minds away from some of the brick and mortar issues and look at this social issues and address them, because that is the best measure of development. Are people getting well fed? Children getting good education? Are they in the classrooms? What about their health and all those things? This, you see mad people, you see children, they are all roaming the street. Why can't we find a way of taking them out of the community?
But that's why the people vote people in to solve their problems. When the people in power are asking questions, then the people are wondering what's going on.
What is going on for me, coming from government, is that this country, you don't have money. That's spirit.
With all the money, loans, reckless borrowing.
You see, every government borrows. When MPP was even 2008, we didn't have the situation we had. We had just gone to HIPIC. A lot of the debts have been cancelled. A lot of the debts have been cancelled. You came after 8 years and you left us with a huge debt. Why? How did we create a debt? Didn't you borrow? And you created a fiscal distress for us. There was no financial fiscal space for us. So when you came, you don't have revenue. You have to borrow. Because the people are demanding the items, so we borrow. And you and I sat in Parliament. When they come and sit here, we are borrowing, we don't know what they are doing. Are you sleeping in Parliament?
Consumption.
Are you sleeping in Parliament? If you are going to do road from Tamamoto way to the north, does it mean that once you are bored, the next day you should finish the road?
So there's borrowing, but the children are suffering. Their children are still on the streets.
So I'm saying that, okay, if we think that this is also a priority, then let's borrow and handle the children.
Is it a priority, though?
It should be a priority.
Is it?
If it is, so we will not have Ministry of Gender and Children Affairs.
But they are crying.
I'm saying it's money. We should give them money to do the work they are supposed to do.
Okay. It's a fair point, isn't it, Mr. Honorable Umar?
Well, in terms of socialism, my view is for us to be in take a neutral view of it and look at bring stakeholders together to really look at or prioritize our pressing issues. One of the things affecting us in terms of social welfare is data. We need to rationalize the data. Today, if you go to the street, these children, some of them, or most of them, happen to be foreigners. And some Ghanaians. But we don't have specific data to tell at what point did they enter the country. I mean, those foreigners. Then the Ghanaian children, what is their problem? Where do they come from?
Why is data lacking?
Well, data is lacking because of what CDD did. Lack of infrastructure and corruption. Let me take you back to a year ago.
So corruption is the reason why
the data is not.
We have
yes, yes.
Little
Look,
data
you
on
have misprocurement, of course. People in government and politicians wants to own the whole country. They want to be richer than the nation state. Monies that should go and take care of constituencies and citizens are being pocketed. President thinks about having luxury flights and bathing in the air when their citizens cannot have 3 square meals. Look at what we did, that NIA, the data we just did.
National
Identification
Authority.
Yes. It was all about procurement. Today, if you ask them to provide us the data so that we'll know, go to the street, get the kid, and find out the parent, I'm telling you, I can bet my last CD on me. You may not even know the parent.
So your argument is that we need to get data to know exactly what the problem is.
Yes. No, we need data. We need data on each street.
Okay.
So that, for instance, in developed countries, if a kid is in school, registered to attend a school, and doesn't show up, the teacher knows exactly who to call and contact why the child is not in school.
Is Ghana developed?
Is Ghana developed? Well, we are getting there.
So we're developing?
We are developing. Ghana is not a developed country. We are developing. Although my good friend, when they came in during their honeymoon, they were doing to make Ghana to Ghana beyond 8. and they are still there borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. I don't know when we'll even recover to go beyond 80.
Well, borrowing is not technically not aid.
Oh.
Borrowing.
Borrowing is borrowing. Borrowing is borrowing. Exactly. And see...
It wasn't Ghana beyond loans.
Oh. Well, he's here. He can better explain to that. You know...
So let's just wrap it up. So you're saying more money needs to be put into gathering data on the problem so that you can understand it better, and corruption is preventing that money from being used to address the problem. Is that
Let's
correct?
prioritize our needs.
Okay, all right. I think that's
prioritizing our needs.
That's a good
you understand?
way to close this part of the conversation.
Kathy, let me come here
briefly.
Yes, prioritizing our needs to make sure that even what is we call needy families can be taken care of.
That's happening on LEAP, is it not? The livelihood empowerment.
It's political.
LEAP is political?
LEAP, go to LEAP, and you see the people who are on LEAP are politicians. They are party foot soldiers.
Really?
Party foot soldiers. Let me tell you, LEAP. Go to LEAP. And that is what it comes back to the data.
Your constituency is
I am telling no. It's not only my constituency. I'm just telling you.
No, but that's where you would go, because that's where you are.
It's a Ghanaian thing.
Really?
You know, let's go back to the data again. Let's go back to the data.
Yeah, you don't have
people on LEAP. If you see you see some people on LEAP, and the circumstances that, or how they qualify to be LEAP beneficiaries, makes you wonder.
Explain further.
Well, you said time is not there.
Okay,
It makes you wonder because you don't know why they qualify.
But do you know?
Because they don't qualify?
They don't qualify.
That's not true. That is not. That is, see, when we sit on the national TV and we are talking, we are politicians.
I want you to back up your statement.
We've been leaders of this country before. My brother, when I became the MP for Kumfi, I tried very hard to try and see if I can get some old people put in there. I made a list. Okay, get me 10 from here, get me 10 from here. You said they bring you the names, and then you submit.
Was that scientific?
Is that?
Was that a scientific?
No, you've been given 500 people to be put on the thing. You cannot go to one committee and pick the 500. You get it? We go for the very people with very difficult needs. You will look at the aged. In fact, mostly we look at the aged. Then look at single mothers who are really struggling. So these are the people you select and put it.
But does it not buy into his argument that some communities may be
but these are the people
because they come
from communities. And I'm telling you, I was going to let me conclude.
Political persuasion.
I couldn't add a single person. All the people are paid there. They were done by the NDC. Are you telling me those people are the NDC people? The people are receiving leave from my community today. Since I couldn't put even a single person on it. They are all was done under the NDC regime. And the NDC people, they are indigenous of the community. We know them. They are old age. They qualify to get. There are few young ones among them who are single mothers and some guys who are also struggling. They also qualify.
Okay.
So if the person qualifies, why are you saying that they have no business being
You see, that bias by this and that. When you have
you see, it's everything that you say that you should
do. It's not political. It's not political. When we prioritize needs, so there will be an office. Kathy, let me finish. When we,
a minute,
put up an office. You don't need a politician to. He just said it. He will take list and send it to them. You don't need that.
He's a member of parliament.
No, you don't need that.
He's a member of parliament.
There is an office. Put an office. If we have a LEAP office, the people who needs and feels qualified goes to the office, apply for it, they get what?
Instead of going to the MP office.
No,
the MP represents doesn't represent.
No, you see, and that is where we are not fixing our problems.
I'm the MP.
Listen,
there's a program of state to benefit aged people and people who are suffering.
Look.
And then I take the initiative that okay, I want to do this for them. Is it able for me to do that? Is it able as an MP to take the initiative that I want to get some of my people on leave?
Let me ask those who are watching what their thoughts are. So we got two issues: the CDD report, post-election survey report that touched on a whole range of issues to corruption, the composition of parliament, how that affects UNI development. And then we are now looking at the phenomenon of street beggars, but we've widened it to look at the disadvantage in society and to find out why exactly funding is not being created, it's not being provided to take care of them. And lots of comments are coming in on 055 556 1034. Majid from the north. The north is big. The government doesn't want to tell us the truth. Ghana is very hot. Many fathers are now buying food on credit to feed their families at food vendors. Even bread they can't even buy bread in Tamale because the cost is high. You're not a politician, but you think this is too much for Ghana. That's from Expertial in the north. 0255 556 1034. And you're talking about corruption, mediocrity, egoism, and emptiness as qualities of the administration, and you disagree with Honorable Kujo. Good morning, Mr. Umar. You're not being realistic, and Mami thinks you're being biased in your submissions. Well, Mami, that's your view. He probably would think otherwise. I want to jump to the Business and Financial Times because this story is worrying. Cement to hit 60 cedis per bag if taxes and levies are not reviewed. I'm sure 99% of people in this country build using cement. The price for a bag of cement is most likely to continue its ascendancy and hit 60 cedis by the end of the year if urgent steps are not taken to review, suspend, or scrap some taxes and levies that affect the production cost buildup. And this is coming from cement manufacturers. They say they are in very dire circumstances. They've been forced to sacrifice their returns and plow back to stay in business. So per industry data, and data has been a word that we've been using today, over the past 7 months, the retail price of cement has gone up 3 times, resulting in a 10 to 12 cedi increase, which is roughly 27% increase, pushing retail prices to about 50 cedis. And this is being described as unprecedented. There are external factors. So you've got COVID, and cement is a mixture of various components which are imported. Clinker and gypsum, they are imported, of course. And if you are doing importation, you're dealing with foreign exchange. So there are factors. There are also internal factors. So port charges, levies, taxes. Honorable Kujo, is it time for Ghanaians to start thinking long-term about other alternatives to cement?
Well, before I come to that, I think that let's set the record straight. And I think there are external factors as well as internal factors. So let's deal first with external factors. During the COVID season, all of us are aware that most industries abroad, where most of this importation coming from China, other places, were shut down. The global supply chain cycle really was down.
So fewer vessels coming to town.
So fewer vessels coming to town, fewer productions being made, and then everybody producing cement going for the same thing. So of course, obviously, when you have demand still soaring and then the supply side is not responding appropriately, you're going to have a situation where the imported price is going to go up. So these are global phenomena. You read about US, you read about the same other places. It's happening. The price of all these things are going up over there. So that we need to put across, let people understand. Because the way the heading has been captured, it kind of as if it is the taxes and levy that is making it quite expensive. The taxes have always been there. I believe that what they are trying to do is the association is trying to appeal to the state to say that, okay, this is what is happening because cement affects everybody.
Yes, but is it not true that taxes and levies are under the control of Ghanaians?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that first of all, we should understand that the major factor or the immediate factor is not the taxes. It is the supply bottlenecks resulting in increased prices from the external market.
But they also delays the port, which can be controlled.
So
and
that
if
has
there are
shorted
delays,
up.
there's
As a result, we need to look at the local components also.
Yes.
So I agree that the cement is something that every ordinary person needs to build, to construct whatever. You need cement. And we were earlier talking about social investment. People need to have places to rest their heads. And so the government will have to look at, if this request is being made, so they have to look at what is happening at the port. The port charges, like they are complaining, duty, and I've been an importer before, and I must admit that sometimes, you know, there's the delays, but the kind of import landed charge, landed cost at the port is sometimes overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Of course, bring revenue to the state, but it needs to be looked at, because at the end of the day, people have to be in business. So if people's business are going to collapse, then we are creating more problems for everybody. Indeed. So we need to look at the internal elements as well. The port charges should be looked at critically.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Omar, I'm surprised because there's a related story where in the Ghanaian Times, which says Ghana's construction industry is ranked the 6th most attractive in the sub-region. And so
Ghana
just the construction industry, we are supposed to be ranked the 6th most attractive, according to Fitch Solutions, who did some data. But then you also have this cement that is likely to become even more expensive, according to the BFT, if taxes levies are not reviewed. And I also talked about other external factors. What's your view on this?
Well, let's look at what government, the control that government has over this is the taxes and levies.
And the port delays.
And the port delays.
Because GPHA must know how to deal with the port.
Then, so government has to review them. All the additional taxes that this government has created should be reviewed. Then also, we are looking at the other thing that government claimed they were good at, and they keep doing propaganda with it, which is the exchange rate. You see, with all these things, if the exchange rate is not controlled, there's no way the cost will come down. And so, if the vice president, who said, and I quote him, that if you do propaganda, whatever propaganda you do, the exchange rate will expose you. And that is what is coming here. So, government must control, they must bring down exchange rate, control it, because we are almost going, I can tell you, maybe by December we'll get to $7 to $1, which is very high.
Are you a prophet of doom?
No, I'm not a prophet of doom, but it is happening. It looks as if government cannot control it again. Then the taxes. You see, and that's what we said to Ghanaians, that we were not going to do propaganda, but to be honest with them and tell them what we can do and what we have already done. But it's unfortunate that it looks as if Ghanaians love propaganda, and they bought the propaganda. And so we are here with it.
So in your attempt to return to power, will you be using propaganda?
Why?
Since Ghanaians
no, since they have already been burned with their fingers. Why must we? We will always remain to be honest and truth. See, the other thing Ghana government can do, we don't need to subsidize, but to do what? We now have about 2 or 3 companies in Ghana. Government must give them, not subsidy, grant.
The cement companies?
The cement companies. Because we don't have clinker. Buildings must go on. Ordinary people must build. And that's the only thing.
In the long term, should we be moving away from cement and going into things
in the long
like
term,
alternative building materials?
What alternative building material?
Oh, I've seen container buildings that would be great.
Well,
really great.
A container building, you're looking at what? Metals.
Yes.
Do we have it?
Oh, there are a whole bunch of containers are there. Shipping containers, just convert them. Yeah.
The cost will go up.
Well,
you know,
we have to think.
Then we have to think.
Yes, because there are countries where they
I'm not writing it off. I'm not writing it off, but we have to think. We have to think. Okay. So long term, but for government, we need interventions now.
Okay, we need interventions now.
Now.
Okay, he gave some solutions, some suggestions. You were an importer before.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean,
handle things. In fact, the issue of cement is one of the things that touches me a lot, because I do some little construction, not on a major scale, but like we said, every single person needs to have a house where to sleep. And so the difficulties that have been thrown at us by COVID and its attendant effects, making the prices of this thing quite expensive. He should advise policymakers and decision makers to see that in times like this, certain measures have to be taken to cushion the people. So the people are crying today. They are saying that we are likely to have a worsening situation. And so they are drawing government attention to it. And I'm saying that one of the things we need to do are look at the port charges and many others. If you talk about tax, if my brother keep talking about tax, I'll tell him that the two of us were sitting in Parliament. When we annulled most of the obnoxious taxes that they introduced, some taxes, a lot of taxes that we abolished all of them. He knows. If those taxes have not abolished in a part of the system, I don't think that we can talk about cost of production here.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I can't allow you to leave without getting some predictions from you. The Black Stars are in your home region, and on Friday they are playing Ethiopia. It's part of World Cup qualifiers.
Oh, I thought we'd do the one on the Times. I was quite interested.
What was it?
There's a front page on the Times.
What is it?
It's about 103 million to address
reclaimed lands. Yes. It's a good story. Thank you for highlighting that. We've run out of time, but it's a good story. Yeah, definitely. So prediction for the game.
Obviously, as a Ghanaian, I want Black Stars to win.
Okay.
And I hope that they win.
All right.
Yeah. I don't want to stick my neck out about score.
You don't do scores.
No.
Well, I just wanted to point on his.
You can't insist.
No.
I don't.
1 second.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. When you talk about COVID, all the time, this government, COVID didn't increase what? Exchange rate. COVID. You're talking about COVID.
Okay.
Everything they are blaming on COVID.
Okay. So COVID is a
simple management.
COVID is a
simple.
COVID should
everything is COVID.
COVID shouldn't be the
just like when they started, everything in Ghana was just about free SHS, until it, now they don't.
So the new tune is COVID.
Yeah, the new tune is COVID.
Will COVID affect the score, Ghana, Ethiopia?
No,
it won't. Are we winning?
We are winning. Black Stars.
Give us a score. Give us a scoreline.
We are winning.
2-0. 2-0. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for that. Thank you very much. Honorable Alassane Umar, former MP for Zabzudu, and the Honorable Francis K. Atukujo, former MP for Kofi. What does the K stand for?
Kingsley.
All right. Nice. 2 English names.
Yeah.
Powerful. All right. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast. My name is Kaf. I also have an English name. Robert. I hardly use it. We're back with more. 055-556-1034. There's a Rotary International conversation where T is gearing up to deliver. And then, how did you meet your partner? That's a question that Valerie wants answers to. You stay, don't go anywhere.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you. with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, President Nkrumah, for the reminder that African solutions have to be found to African problems. We're celebrating him throughout the month of September. Watch out for some very interesting features, interesting interviews, interesting music, interesting chats all around. Osajifu, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Happy birthday to Professor Lawyer Emmanuel Kofi Lawe. As to the nickname, if I mention it right now, I may have to buy 2 cows. And it's coming from Harriet and family. May the good Lord bless you and keep strengthening you and give you more favor. Love always. Still to come, Thomas sits down with the president of Rotary International, Mr. Shakhtar Mehta, president 2021-2022 of Rotary Club of Calcutta, Mahanagar in West Bengal, India. Namaste. And that will be happening shortly. And then a conversation that Val will be having with you about where you met your partner. But for now, let's talk flooding, rains, disasters, because heavy rains in parts of the northern region of this beautiful country have rendered many residents homeless. The 5-hour downpour on Monday submerged many communities in the Tamale metropolis and left people stranded. The heavy rains come ahead of the announced spillage of the Bagre Dam in Burkina Faso. Is the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, in a great position to assist victims of Monday's floods in the northern region? And what about when Bagre gets spilled? Are they on the ground? I have with me from the National Disaster Management Organization, Mr. Richard Amuyate, Director of Inspectorate. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Good for having me here also.
What does a Director of Inspectorate direct?
Let me first of all say good morning to your viewers, and also greet my Director General, Honorable Eric Nanajuman Prempe, and his Deputy in charge of operations, Abu Ramadan. But they are actually in the northern part of Ghana, leading Operation Thunderbolt.
Okay.
That was a flood response operation to mitigate the impacts of the floods in the northern Ghana. Good morning, Director General.
Yes, they've heard you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what do you do? I mean, you're inspector division. What do you do?
Basically, it's in charge of ensuring implementation of disaster risk reduction measures to mitigate.
Awesome, awesome. That's quite relevant to our conversation. So let's zero in on what's happening in the northern region, and you can send us video of what's going on in your community. Okay, 055-556-1036. We can see pictures right now of what's going on. I mean, parts of the northern region have been turned into lake communities with canoes now being used to move around. I am assuming that the water has reached people's homes, and this is what we see. There's scenes of devastation, destruction. It's amazing. You can't even believe it. So lots of communities have been submerged by the rains. And is it normal for rains to occur at this time, or were you surprised?
No, in northern Ghana, it's the rainy season. Yeah. So it's normal. So every year around this season, we have the Operation Thunderbolt, because it coincides with the spill of the Bagri Dam. So every year we are there.
The Bagri Dam has not even been spilled
yet. Not yet, but there have been rains over the last few days. So that is the problem now we're dealing with. And then we are expecting the dam to be spilled anytime soon. So our team is there. The Operation Thunderbolt has been spearheaded by the Director General himself. We are in the communities, catchment areas along the White Water, and other communities which will be affected. Currently, we are doing sensitization and prepositioning of resources.
When you say sensitization, what are you telling the people?
You know, people in the catchment areas, we are asking them to move to higher grounds. You know, most of them are there because the soils, they're very fertile for farming. And most of them are farmers. And so we're encouraging them to harvest their crops. That is, those where the crops are ready, they should harvest them. We are assisting them, and then also asking them to move to upper grounds.
Do you provide a place for them to move to? Where are they moving to?
Safe havens are created where they'll be moved. That if there is a need for evacuation, people will be evacuated and then sent to the safe havens.
Describe these safe havens. What do they look like?
Oh, it's like a camping situation, you know, where the people will be there provided with beddings and if need be clothing and other necessities that will be needed for.
So are these tents? Are these tents that have you set up a tent
Sometimes
city?
if we have schools that are in relatively safer areas, I mean public places in relatively safer areas are used as safe havens. Sometimes if it's the need for use a park and then set up tents, it will be done.
So have these, are you saying that these facilities are on
We are ready when there's the need for that. NADMO is there, the 48 engineers is there, and then the Marine Police is also there. I mean, so there's a team on the ground working seriously to mitigate the
in terms of community, we just hear northern region, but which communities are likely to be affected?
But all the 5 northern regions will be affected, and some of them have already, I mean, I would say all of them have felt it one way or the other. All the 5 northern regions. I cannot go to the specifics of the community. But in the northern region, for example, we have the Tamale Metro and Sanyarugu. In Savannah, we have Salaga. And then the Upper West. And then in Upper East, we have Sandema, which actually has been cut off. Yeah. So we are already on the ground assisting people to move about.
Sandema has been cut off?
Yeah.
What does that mean for the people of Sandema?
That is the road net, the main access to Sandema has been affected. So there's a need to support people to cross.
So how are people coming into Sandema?
We are using, the Marine Police is there, NADMO's team is there, we have boats that need be used to assist people to cross.
In terms of men and women on the ground, what are your numbers like right now?
From the headquarters, we deployed about 30 trained men. And then we have in the regions and in all the affected areas, we have not more men on the ground. So the number on the ground is quite, with the support from Ghana Armed Forces and the police.
What will the army be doing?
The 48 engineers, in fact, they are our collaborators in flood emergencies, transporting people, saving people who are trapped in flooded communities. Yeah.
And what about the Marine Police?
Same thing.
Okay. Are you in conversations with the authorities managing the Bagri Dam?
We have a regular channel of communication with them so that they keep updating us on the situation. That is why we are aware that they will be spilling anytime soon. Yes.
Have they told you exactly when the spilling will happen?
Not
since
exactly.
Since you are in direct communication with them?
The close of day yesterday, that's the information I have. Dates for the spilling is yet unknown, but it could be spilled anytime because the water level in the dam keeps rising. It could even be today, tomorrow, depending on the level. When it hits a certain level, then the spill will be done to save that dam.
Do you know what that level is, which has to be reached before the spillage will take place?
Honestly, I don't have it offhand.
But do they share this information with NADMO?
Yeah, they share the information. NADMO has the information.
How close are we to that level?
We are very close. As I said, it could be spilled any time. Yeah, we are very close.
Is NADMO able to help people who will be affected who are being affected right now by the flooding and then to be affected?
We have men on the ground. We have pre-positioned. We are assessing. We are distributing relief items in areas. Yeah. So we are on the ground already working.
What kind of relief items will be distributed?
Depend on the assessment. So it's not like the same kind of items will be distributed across board. It depends on the assessment in a particular community, what is needed. And mostly it's food and non-food relief items, like beddings, clothing.
Okay, for those who have been affected right now by the flooding, how is NADMO helping them?
Those who have been affected right now, like I said, we have, for example, this whole thing started from Upper West, where it's quite serious. Some relief items have been sent. The ongoing assessments, so the figures keep changing. And as and when we have new figures and there's the need for deployment of relief items, it is done. Currently, I know that today, for example, the interagency working group, which is made up of the international NGOs, the UN systems, are on the ground in Upper West, assessing the situation so that more relief will be provided and supported.
And so we are expecting to get international relief?
International support, yeah.
In the past, there have been reports of relief items being channeled to the wrong areas. How is that situation being prevented now?
I don't have any records of relief items that have been channeled to any place.
This has been common knowledge in
the
news
in the past. I remember in 2015, thereabouts, where it was all over social media of some relief items being packed into a taxi by NADMO officials. And it's because those who send those pictures onto the platforms did not do their checks well. We have a situation where sometimes there are no official vehicles to move. So there are relief items in the community that have to be sent back to the police station for storage.
So does that not introduce a risk? Why should you deal with disaster preparedness and readiness for action? How come NADMO officials have to be sitting in taxis?
At that moment, there was no vehicle available. In fact, that time, we had only, I think, 2 trucks that had been provided by the military for sending relief into the communities. So they dropped the items in the community, come back, reload for another community. So at the close of day, when there was something left, it had to be taken back to the police station for storage. The available means was a taxi. And so when a few guys saw it, they just put it on social media, NADMO office, and it was done in consultation with the opinion leaders, assembly member, and all that. So these things happen. Yeah, we hear them, but like I'm saying, there hasn't been any evidence to the fact that some relief items have been diverted. I'm not aware.
Do you have enough trucks now and vehicles now? Will this happen again?
Enough. We cannot have enough, but we have some trucks. We are doing something. But like I say, in times like this, we pool resources together. The Ghana Armed Forces is straight there to us. Ghana National Fire Services, Ghana Police Service. When there's the need to pool resources from other agencies, we'll do it.
So what
in the private sector.
So today, what exactly is happening right now in the areas of coverage in the northern region? What is going on apart from sensitization?
Pre-positioning.
What does that mean?
Positioning of men and resources, men and other resources that will be needed. Yeah, that it is currently ongoing, and then we are meeting the Director General. Like I said, my Director General himself is leading the charges. Is there? Is meeting with the chiefs who add their voice to ensure that those in the catchment areas will move to higher ground. In fact, when they all move, the dam will be spilled, the flood waters will pass, and then life gets back to normal.
Do you force people to move if they don't want to move willingly?
We encourage people to move.
How?
By talking to them, making them understand the realities of the day and the dangers they are living in. And most of the time, I think they understand and they move. You know, it's like, especially those who have not yet harvested their crops. They find it difficult to leave their crops, but then we tell them that your life is more precious. You can always plant the next season. So you need to stay alive to plant again.
So for those who lose crops and livestock, and what support can they expect?
These assessments are not done by NADMO alone. We'll do it in collaboration with Ministry of Agriculture, when farmlands, livestock and others are affected. And then the technical people determine what kind of relief should be provided. But the basic relief items like food and non-food items is provided for affected persons.
What's your greatest challenge as NADMO in dealing with situations like this? Because this is an annual thing.
Yeah, it's an annual
What's your greatest difficulty and challenge?
Challenge. I will say that the NADMO is always ready, and resources, in terms of resources, sometimes we are challenged. But I think we try hard as possible to work around what is available to do the best that we can to save lives and property. Yeah.
So when you say resources, what exactly?
Sometimes we need funding, serious funding, to do so many things, and then it's lacking. Yeah.
When these disasters are not happening, what is NADMO doing?
We do a lot. Disaster management starts with the prevention and mitigation, and then we prepare before we respond. So most of the time, the media is interested in the response stage. That is what, like, it is happening now. Yeah, so everybody is interested. But a lot of work was done before, like communicating with Sonabel on a regular basis, sensitizing communities.
Sonabel are the people who manage the Bagre
Dam on a regular basis, sensitizing communities on do's and don'ts during flood seasons. And a lot is going on.
What would be your message to people in these affected areas, those who have been affected by the flooding or those who may be affected by Bagre Dam spillage?
Yeah, those who know that they are in the catchment areas of the White Volta and are annually affected by the spillage of the dam, I mean, they should listen to officials and then move to safer grounds. Those who have been affected, sometimes it's difficult when you're getting people to register, because relief can only be given when we have identified people and then registered them.
How do they register?
You take down your particulars and then we assess your condition.
You come to them or they come to you?
No, we are in the communities.
Okay.
And sometimes when they get to know that NADMO is in the community, so sometimes we need help, information. You understand? We need the information to know exactly where the problem is so that we can move in at any given time to support.
And when you register, what information are you looking for?
We need your basic information, your name, where you live, and then we assess your situation, how you have been affected, and then see what to be given to you as a form of relief.
So they should register, they should move
to higher ground. Yeah. And then listen constantly to officials. And then those who have radio sets should be monitoring, because announcements are being made on the channels on a very regular basis of what's happening.
Any final words you'd want to say before I let you go?
NADMO is on the ground. We are mandated to manage disasters, including floods, and then we are doing our very best with the resources available. And then we expect people to have confidence in us. Sometimes people just think that NADMO will only wait and come and give us relief items.
Is there a big problem, like lack of confidence in NADMO?
Yeah. It's when you are doing your best and people don't think you are working hard enough, it's a bit challenging, Yeah.
Why do you think they don't have confidence in you?
Because people think that, for example, if there's a flood situation and then you are in an area and then there's some relief administration going on, everybody in the community thinks that I'm entitled to it because I'm in the community.
Even those who have not been affected?
People think that once I'm in the community, if NADMO is, for example, giving food aid, I'm entitled to benefit. But those things are done based on our assessment. We realize that you don't need food aid. Maybe what you need is a mattress and a blanket. Another person needs a mattress, a blanket, it's a food aid. And then they are the first people to go on air. NADMO is in our community, and then blah, blah, blah.
So, we need to repose more confidence in NADMO.
That's it. And then you should be more interested in the things that we do before the emergencies occur.
Okay. Point well taken. Thank you very, very much. Richard Amu Yate is Director of Inspectorate at NADMO. Thank you very much. We wish you the very best. And
giving us the opportunity.
We'll be keeping an eye on what's happening in the northern parts of Ghana. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafui. Still to come, this lifestyle showbiz segment with Valerie, and where did you meet your current partner? We want to know exactly what the answer to that question is. But still, just around the corner is a conversation that Thelma will be having with Mr. President. President Shekta Mehta, who is the president of Rotary International. Namaste to him. And she's around the corner. Don't go anywhere. It's a conversation on Rotary. You don't want to miss this one for anything in the world. Stay with us.
Kwame, star of Ghana. Nkrumah, star of Ghana. Everybody toils on the brave, and the sweat of their labor toils of the brave.
Live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on lifestyle,
sports,
what of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
the trail.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Kwame, star of Ghana, Nkrumah, star of Ghana, everybody toils of the brave and the sweat of their...
Yes. We are celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah this month on this program, and we'll bring you so much information on him, so you'll want to learn a lot about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, first president of the Republic of Ghana. And on this side of the breakfast table, we are looking at humanitarian services, we are looking at philanthropy, we're looking at how the world connects us no matter where we are on the globe. And specifically, we are talking about Rotarians. We know that Rotary clubs exist in almost every country, with its numerous contributions to the world, improving lives and enhancing communities over 100 years. Today we are honored to have Mr. Shekhar Mehta, President 2021-2022 Rotary Club of Calcutta, Mahanagar, West Bengal, India. Mr. Mehta, welcome to GTV Breakfast.
Thank you, my pleasure.
It's an honor. Mr. Mehta is an accountant. He's chair of Skyline Group, a real estate development company, and a director of operations Eyesight Universal, a Canada-based organization. He has been actively involved in disaster response and also a trustee of Shelterbox UK, and has been a Rotary member since 1984. So that is a very long time, about 37 years. What motivated you? In Ghana, there's a perception, for example, that Rotary Club belongs to an elite group of people. Would that be what influenced you to join way back in 1984?
Not exactly. Both my parents were members of Lions, Lions International. So I was aware of what Lions do and what probably Rotary does. And it so happened that before a Lion member could invite me, a Rotary member invited me to be a Rotarian.
Okay.
So I became a member.
Your parents would not be happy. Say, we should.
Oh no, they were happy. They were happy, absolutely. They were fine. In fact, left to my father, he would have recommended me to join Rotary, just because he was already a member of a Lions Club. As far as the issue about elite is concerned, we are trying desperately hard, let me tell you, to shed that image.
So it's not just in Ghana then, it's in other countries as well?
That's the image somehow which has lingered for many years. This may have been the case maybe about 30, 40 years back, but not anymore.
How did that come about? How did that perception
probably it came up because Rotary from the very beginning wanted leaders of individual profession to become members. So you could, only one engineer could be a member of a Rotary club. If there was to be another engineer, he or she had to, he only at that time had to join another Rotary club. Then came a time when if you wanted another engineer, you had to take permission and to be proposed by the previous engineer. So only the leaders in the profession were there. So probably people took a view that only the elite can be members. But that's not how it is.
And you're looking to change that how?
That's because we want more and more people to join this mission of serving other people. Our motto is service above self. There is tremendous need for service in this world, and there are lesser number of people who are ready to provide that service. So we need more people. So we cannot be elitist, and we don't want to be elitist.
Great. There's also the perception that you're sort of secretive, more like a cult, so a small group of people and you do a lot of your things among yourselves. Is that also a fair assumption?
Unfortunately not. That's not at all. I mean, we are extremely open, extremely open, but the second part of your comment was correct, that we've been poor at telling our story, I would say. We used to think, do the good work and forget about it. Let our work speak for ourselves. But that's not what the current world is. In a day where people want to share their status 10 times in a day, they want to share their pictures 5 times a day, if not more, we also want to share our story now. Probably that's one of the reasons I'm sitting with you here.
Exactly. I was going to ask, is that why you've come to Ghana? Is it your first time here?
It is my first time to Ghana.
What are you looking to do on this trip?
Encourage Rotarians here to grow more and do more.
Do more?
Grow more and do more.
Grow more and do more. We know, for example, when it comes to health, you do a lot of health advocacy. You were very involved in polio eradication across countries. How has that fight gone? And now that we appear to be, at least in Ghana, getting a handle on it, what's next for Rotary?
So let me tell you first the story about polio itself. We started about 1985, 35 years back, 36 years back. 350,000 children each year were getting afflicted by it. So they were either getting paralyzed or in fact not living anymore. This year, for the last 7 months, there has not been a single case of polio in the world. When we started, it was in 125 countries. Today, it's only in 2 countries, and even in those 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan, there has been no case for the last 7 months. If you don't have another case for another 5 months, then we are nearly there. Let me tell you, we would have then been on the threshold of eradicating only the second vaccine preventable disease ever to be eradicated from the face of earth. The first was smallpox, the second would be polio. And quite humbly, but let me tell you, Rotary definitely takes the credit for being the front runner and taking this program for 35 years. Imagine an organization to be focused on one big program is quite a thing. 1.2 million Rotarians across 200 countries focused on eradicating polio.
And that's very commendable, and it begs a question of the next step, and if you can replicate the successes that you've done with polio. So after the 5 months are up and hopefully everything goes as you envisage, and then polio is indeed eradicated, what would be the next target? And are you thinking COVID? Are you thinking something else entirely?
So it's not just these 5 months. Post the 5 months, we have to wait for 3 years before the world is certified as polio free. Until that is done, we would not want to move for a corporate program. So while we do so many things in the world, Rotarians across the world do so many things, polio happens to be the corporate program as of now, and it will remain for the next 4 years, because till the eradication is finally declared, we would be there. In the meanwhile, we do some major initiatives. But as you said, COVID, right now there isn't any organization in the world or any politician or any government which is not thinking of COVID. We have to. It's the biggest thing that has struck us, humanity, in this century. So we are doing a lot of work as far as COVID itself is concerned. And the Rotarians across the world have been requested to work along with the governments. For the last 2 days, I was with the government of Côte d'Ivoire. And we've shown keen interest that yes, we are ready to work with the government as far as COVID is concerned, creating awareness. At times there is vaccine hesitancy, people do not want to take vaccines. Rotarians are good at that, because we are basically vaccine people in a way. For 35 years we have worked only with vaccines, polio eradication.
And I would think that, especially coming from India, and with all that the country has had to endure because of COVID, and to be able to ramp up its own local supply of vaccines for its own people, you would have a lot to share, especially with Ghana, on how we can also boost our own local manufacturing systems for the COVID vaccines.
Sure. I mean, starting local manufacturing is absolutely up to the pharma companies here. If any of the companies wishes to, I'm sure they can set up the facility. COVID does not seem to be going away immediately. So it will be better if more and more countries have their own facilities. And if the government of Ghana is interested in setting up, we can speak to the largest manufacturer of COVID, which happens to be in India. And Serum Institute is in India, and the CEO, Mr. Adar Poonawalla, is a friend of Rotary, and his family has been a huge supporter of Rotary and a big contributor to the Rotary Foundation itself.
And I know you do a lot of programs for underprivileged communities. Talk to us about some of those.
So Rotary has 7 areas of focus, which are literacy, basic literacy and education, and then there is health, prevention of disease, mother and child care, there is water, sanitation, hygiene, economic and community development, peace and environment. So let me talk of peace itself. So one program under peace is we have peace scholarship programs. So around the world there are universities where each year we sponsor peace scholars for either a 2-year degree course or a 3-month course. These are different universities. There is one in Africa also, Makerere University. So then there is one in Thailand, right from Japan to US, these universities. Each year we come out with these peace scholars, and they're well placed in the world, trying to do some developmental work, bringing positive peace into the world. Apart from that, our work in literacy is huge. Back home in India, for example, we are working along with the government, providing entire curriculum from grade 1 to 12 on television for it to be cast so that children who are at home because of the pandemic, they can study and not lose learning abilities. I just now spoke to your director of the Broadcasting Corporation. You are also doing a similar thing, broadcasting content, and we would be happy to share the content that we are doing. He's invited us to share that, and we'll be happy to do that. We have in fact developed content in French for Togo, the pilot. Côte d'Ivoire has shown keen interest that we send some content to them so that they can also see the content. We are ready to share it. I think India is good at technology, and we've developed some very good content. That's as far as education is concerned. At India, we are working towards total literacy. Water sanitation, huge work is being done. Even in Ghana, one of the biggest programs that is being done is in water and sanitation. Nearly 100 villages where the water system itself, Rotary must have spent more than $4 million on the one single program itself.
I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm getting the sense that it can get, would it be hard to pinpoint one particular thing that you personally experienced as a member of Rotary that you think made the biggest difference? Because I'm listening to all these basic literacy programs you do, the health and prevention, the water and sanitation, the peace scholars. Sounds like a lot. Can you single out one or a few that you thought, this touched me?
Each of these, everything that I spoke to you, I've only spoken what has touched me. So I'll just give you 1 or 2 examples. Quite a few years back, I got into the program for doing heart surgeries for little children.
Heart surgeries
for little children. I mean, these are children who, parents wait for their child to come. The child comes, they're so happy, and suddenly they find in a few months' time the child is becoming blue. It's a blue baby born with a hole in the heart. And these people, they don't have the money to do the heart surgeries. I mean, the heart surgeries would cost amount which they earn over a period of 3 years' time. But the child may not live for 3 months. And that's when Rotary comes in, and I've been fortunate involved with this program. I've met thousands of these children and got these surgeries done for them through Rotary. And my own city, we've done more than 2,000 surgeries, and in India over the last 10 years we've done more than 20,000 surgeries. So that's one program that's touched, and children come from across the world. From I know of children coming from Nigeria last month, children from Afghanistan, they come from Pakistan, Bangladesh, all places around the world. The literacy program, as I mentioned to you, is something that I've been very, very passionate about.
Wow.
Working towards total literacy in India.
Whilst I was reading, one of the articles I came about was about a project you were doing to empower girls,
yes,
and to bring them out of poverty. How has that been like? What countries have you found needed the most support, and how have you gone about making sure that the girls have what they need to face the world?
So each year the president of Rotary brings a little more focus on something. While we already do work in the 7 areas of focus, we try to bring some extra focus. For this year, the extra focus is going to be on empowering girls. So that's going to be the overarching theme of everything that we do. So whether it's water or sanitation, whether it's literacy, whether it's environment, economic development, the focus will be, we'll see it through the lens of empowering girls. So some examples I'll give you is working towards the nutrition for girls, especially girls who are becoming pregnant and they need nutrition and the children need nutrition thereafter. We don't want our next generation to be stunted, to be weak. It may not be visible, but fact is that they are not so strong. They should be, if we provide them good nutrition, it is possible. Menstrual hygiene and management.
I was about to come to that, that there's also the topic about the cost of sanitary materials for girls is a problem in many deprived communities. And what would Rotary, for example, clubs like yours be looking to do to bring those costs down, if not eliminated entirely?
Absolutely. So the answer to that is reusable sanitary pads.
Reusable?
Yes. And these have been tested, very effective. In fact, at a cost of $3 to $4, it can be used by a girl for 2 years. Just $4 for 2 years. Millions of girls this year are going to benefit because of this. My own Rotary Club is doing for 3,000 girls in my own city. We just launched it 2 days back by the first 50 girls getting those kits. The idea is we would want, I mean, you are broadcasting it, people should come forward and support these girls. We all find things very easy in life, very comfortable, very within our reach. But we move a little away from our homes, 50, 60, 100 kilometers, and we see a different world altogether.
In Ghana, when you talk about reusable sanitary materials, we are talking about pieces of cloth that are used and have to be washed and disinfected, maybe with Dettol or any other disinfectant, and then, you know, hang out to dry and then reused. Is that the kind of material you're talking about, or is that very different?
No, it is a little similar to that, but designed in a very scientific manner, which is approved by, which is, for example, UNICEF is in one of them partnering with it. The World Bank is supporting something. So programs where it is already, so let's say if it is to be done here by the Rotary clubs here, which I'm going to encourage, I'm going to meet them this evening and I will tell them to take up this program. They would like to work with the health authorities here, approve that yes, these sanitary pads are good to be used, they are practical to be used, and they are hygienic. So then it becomes very good for the girls. Otherwise they use material that's available to them which is not hygienic, so that's not good for them.
Or and they miss school entirely.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So that they don't have to be embarrassed when
that's
they're
important. Health issue, sanitation, hygiene, environmentally, imagine. I mean, otherwise we throw so much of non-reusable material into our system. Whereas if these are reusable, they'll be so good for the environment.
I could take this whole interview just down the road of empowering and supporting ladies, but there's so much more to Rotary. And when it comes to the international organization, you also have a Rotary Foundation. Tell us about that.
So, Rotary Foundation is like the financial arm, so to say. All of these programs that we do, or most of these programs that we do, are supported by the Rotary Foundation. To be able to get tax benefits, you have to have a foundation. That's the law in the city where Rotary started, Chicago, Illinois law. So that's why we have the Rotary Foundation. Each year Rotarians around the world contribute to the foundation. The last year itself we contributed more than $450 million. June ending is the year of Rotary. And a lot of this money goes towards various programs that we said. It goes towards polio, it goes towards water, sanitation, literacy, etc.
Here's a comment that has just come in. Akwaba RI president. I'm hoping that by now
Yes.
Akwaba is very, very familiar to you. Enjoy your stay and don't forget to try the most delicious meal of Ghanaians to Zafi. That's from Stephen, RC Airport City. Thank you, Stephen. So your Rotarians are already sending you welcome messages.
Thank you,
I understand that you'll be going to Sonko Girls Vocational Center at East Legon. Why is that particular center the first stop for you? You just arrived last night and you've honored this invitation, and then from here you're going there. Why is this so special?
So Empowering Girls is a special program for this year, and they know I would love to go to a program which is for empowering girls, and that's why I'm going to this school.
Right. And you're also later today will be unveiling a billboard for Effa Sutherland Students Park.
Yes, yes, I will be.
That's exciting.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So it's all about Rotary for you then?
Yes, this trip is absolutely and only for Rotary.
Okay, and we know that when it comes to changing lives and making positive changes with lives, you also have a program called Teach in India.
Yes.
What's that about?
So that's the literacy program that I was talking to you about.
So what do people get when they enroll or they get involved in the Teach program?
So Teach is an acronym for a holistic program on literacy, teacher support, e-learning, adult literacy, child development, happy schools.
Happy schools.
So this is what we do. So we ask the Rotarians to take up any of these programs. You can train the teachers, you can bring e-learning, bring technology into education, you can teach the adult illiterates in your country, you can send back children who have dropped out of school under child development, and happy schools is convert those dreary, unpainted, dilapidated buildings into happy schools where children want to go to school.
That sounds so fascinating.
Yes, and the program has been a huge success.
Have you encountered any challenges in the rollout?
Not really. I mean, I'm surprised actually. When I started the program, I was given the responsibility to be the chair of it. I had no clue about literacy. But the fact that we spent nearly 9 to 10 months doing a lot of research, understanding from various experts, etc., brought us to this Teach program. And fortunately, over the years, we have not had to tweak the program much, which means we were on the right track. For example, the e-learning program, now we are working with the government. On the adult literacy program, we are working with the government in India. When I was with the education minister in Cote d'Ivoire, even before I could start the word literacy, she said, I'm aware about Teach. And she was starting to tell me about Teach. So I was fascinated. So we are on the right track, it seems.
And your projects have benefited not only Rotary members, but those who are not members as well. If you were pushed to name a figure, roughly, how much support do you think Rotary International, for example, has given to Ghana, for example?
Around the world, it would be in terms of billions. Billions. We've given doses to 3 billion. 3 billion doses of polio itself has been given, just one program. The literacy program in India has reached millions. There are 250 million students in the education system, of which at least 100 million are benefiting from the program that we are beaming through the government television system. In Ghana, I would not be able to pinpoint the exact number. I don't think anybody would be, but it's in terms of tens of thousands.
Come next year, when your tenure would have been coming to an end or would have ended, what would you most want to have achieved by the time you leave office?
So internally for the organization, I would have wanted that the organization grows. Service organizations around the world have not been really growing, but I see no reason why they should not grow. So I've always been guided by a quote that George Bernard Shaw said. He said, you see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not.
So there are some people who are watching you, they're listening to you, and they are moved to pitch tent with you and join you in this global fight. How do they go about it?
So just go on to rotary.org, rotary.org. Go there and you'll be able to find a way where you can say you want to become a member of Rotary. Become a member of Rotary and you'll be able to participate in any of these programs that I'm suggesting.
And they get to contribute to the foundation, and they also get to benefit in what other ways?
So benefit, there are two parts. One is the benefit to the Rotarian. Why should a person become a Rotarian? So you become a Rotarian because of the innumerable opportunities, opportunity of friendships. Now, for example, I've reached the zenith of the program, so that's a different thing. But even otherwise, you make friends for lifetime. I am fortunate today. I pinpoint any place in the map of the world and I know I'll have a friend there. Friendship, leadership opportunities, it gives extraordinary opportunity to ordinary people. The opportunity of giving back to the community where you're able to do service. You're able to serve people, change their lives. You're able to give, the opportunity of being able to give. All of these opportunities are great. They are life-changing opportunities.
And I also want to ask you about what you expect your whole stay in Ghana would mean, and what kind of experiences you think you would take away from here, lessons from Ghana which you can bring to bear on your international functions as Rotary International President.
So what I want to leave here is, as I said, a message to grow more and do more. As we grow more, naturally we will be able to do more. If we are able to do so much in the world, and I see in today's time, there has been very few times in comparison to today when the need for service has been more.
Need for service is more now.
Yes, there is. People have been stranded at home, they have lost their jobs, they have lost their incomes, they are mentally fatigued, they need people to help out. And what are Rotarians doing? They help other people. So I think there is huge need. This is a good time for people to join Rotary. So that's the first message. Internally, externally, of course, do more services. And I'm a strong believer now Rotary in each country needs to play a role in the nation building process.
Okay, your people are sending loads of messages. Santosh Nair says, good morning, Rotary is good. Joshua Quayson is using the hashtag each one bring one. I think that would resonate with you. Rotary is the way to be is another comment. Rotary Club of Accra is also messaging us on Facebook, and they're saying inspired by the work of Rotary, you too can serve your community and change lives, and they're asking you to follow their pages, definitely, because His Excellency the President, every president on this table is an excellency. So Francis Samuel Godwin, you're saying brilliant interview. RTN Shaker, Rotary is good, service to change lives is the hashtag he's using. Thank you so much for sharing a piece of your world with us on breakfast this morning, and we wish you safe travels, we wish you fruitful deliberations, and we hope that you keep safe as you visit and go around the country and meet your Rotarians. I'll certainly be interested in becoming a member. So
I'm so happy. So yes. I think the show has been successful for me. For one, each one bring one. So this one is on my account.
This is on you. I become president automatically because the president brought me. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Absolutely. Namaste.
It's been my honor.
And
Namaste is as far as my Indian goes.
Yes, and greetings to you from the Prime Minister of India and from all the people of India.
We are grateful to the people of India, especially more so in this pandemic, for helping us ramp up all those vaccines. AstraZeneca, another round of vaccinations is ongoing, and we thank you. We look forward to more fruitful deliberations. Of course, not with me, but at the state level, maybe with
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
We've been interacting with Rotary International. The president has been talking to us. He's visiting Ghana, and he's going to attend to all things Rotary. He's telling us that he will be visiting some schools as part of their focus to empower girls and end poverty in some communities. He's invited you to join Rotary if you can. I know that my steward is watching, Mr. Emmanuel Lamteya, and a strong Rotary member. Thank you so much for giving me tips on how to conduct this interview as well. So Mr. Mehta has been speaking to us. We are very grateful. Thank you, sir, for coming once again. Again, he is president of Rotary 2021-2022, and he's visiting us from India. Fruitful stay. We wish him, Mr. Sheikha Mehta. Thank you again. Thank you. Valerie is asking a crucial question. She's saying, Where did you meet your current partner? Not your other ones, the current one, the main one, maybe. So we'll have that conversation. Don't go away. And she will be taking your answers. The WhatsApp line is active to you, 05555 How did you meet? Tell Valerie that. Send all those comments over to us. We are grateful. Awake mineral water, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, and Shield Acrylic Paint. Thanks to also Barbara Couture GH4, my lovely outfit. Follow her on Instagram. And Valerie will be back with the next segment, Lifestyle. Don't go away.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital.
To the fun side of the breakfast table, I have Kav and T. We're going to have a conversation around, we asked you to send in comments on how you met your current partner, and we are having interesting comments. Before getting to that conversation, did you know that, you know the people who play the flute, right? You can say a flutist or a flautist.
Flautist, yes.
Flautist.
Yes.
Flautist.
A flautist.
And it means the same thing. Somebody who plays the flute. Just one is American English and one is British English. So, pardon us. You'll be hearing a lot of flautist and flutist. Charlie, we are all in it, so get into the group with us. Okay, guys. Welcome to the fun side of a breakfast table.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, talking to the new Rotarian in the house.
Hey, you haven't been inducted yet.
Address it properly.
Don't jump the gun.
Guys, the number to send your messages on, or our WhatsApp number, is 0555561034, and remember the hashtag is GTV Breakfast. We are live on all our social media platforms. The first person to send in a comment is none other than Jay Gabra. Jay Gabra, you guys know Jay, right? So Jay says he met his girlfriend when his friend put his girlfriend on his status, and he saw it and it was love at first sight, and they just clicked, and it's been good since. That's
his
how Jay met his
girlfriend.
Yes. And I asked him about it, and he said that the moral of this story is not to share your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your partners on your WhatsApp status. So that's Jay for you.
On that note, I will plead the fifth on any question on this conversation going forward.
All right, I got a couple of responses here. This is from Facebook. Mommy says, WhatsApp group. That's how she met her partner.
Oh.
And we've been married for 4 years. So WhatsApp is good.
Good on
WhatsApp
you.
group.
Right.
Yes.
But you need to know have the
yes,
person's number
there's
before you
another one
can connect
from Nana on WhatsApp, and Nana is like, I met my current partner at GBC. I took her seat. You might want to elaborate. How did you meet your partner? Another person says that on the corridors leading to the washroom.
Hey.
But the same person too is saying that at the bus stop, you did not send us your name. So do you have two girlfriends? Which one are you referring to? The corridor to the washroom?
Please, you said the current partner. Maybe there are two current partners.
Yeah, so please, he didn't even mention his name, but it's a guy. So guys, send in your comments.
Bernadette and you on Facebook says, my mind wasn't even on a relationship in the first place. Oh. I went to Dodowa to collect data for research work. The rest was in Sembebre.
I would
go and do research. Go and collect data for research, and you found a partner. F4 says, well, he was correcting my English because when I asked my question, I kind of typoed and said, how did you meet your partner? He says, hey, it's how did you meet your partner? But since you have more money than I do, I think yours is correct. And I said, we must say, I disagree. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Typo corrected. And that was it. Any more? No more messages? I have another one here if you want me to read out.
Yes, please.
So just as I met her in front of my hostel at UEW. UEW must be University of Education, Winneba, North Campus. She had returned from lectures and was heading to her hall. I'm called Justice. Unfortunately for me, the T-shirt that she wore that day had an inscription boldly written on it, Justice.
Wow, she was calling you in the spirit.
I turned back and told my friends that I've met my soulmate. It all happened in 2014 when I was in level 200 and she had come to level 100. We are in 2021 now and she's my wife and baby mama. Glory be to God.
Amen to that.
So choose the t-shirt you wear very carefully, Charlie.
Okay, there's one from,
can win you a husband.
I'm telling you.
There's one from Eliasu. Eliasu. Okay. And Eliasu is saying, I met my partner through a family brother and her name is Nasiba. Okay, Nasiba, Eliasu's person.
Claiming you on national television.
Please, if you send your messages, kindly let us know your names so we can address it. He says okay, so this is the same guy who so this is the same guy who sent a message about meeting his partner. He says in the corridor leading to the washroom, at the bus stop, and then in the public transport. It is the same person.
Okay, so 3 times. All right.
Which was the first?
In a bus, from Tamale to Accra.
Okay,
guys, you can a lot of time to talk.
You can call us and let us know your interesting romantic stories via this number 0543 664 264. That is 0543 664 264. Send in your comments.
Yesterday,
call us.
A friend of mine, she messaged me when we put the flyers up about asking people to share their stories. Rosalind, I know you're watching, so I've mentioned your name. Rosalind Badu, she married this wonderful guy called Lawrence. And as soon as she saw the flyer, she messaged me and said, Facebook, oh, how did you meet him? I said, Facebook. Oh. And I know there's so many stories of people who met on social media. Yeah. Another good friend of mine, Pamela, also married a guy she met on Facebook. The guy just DM'd her. And today...
DM is good.
For some. Yeah. For some.
Joshua D. Hobson from East Legon says, good morning, team. I met her way back in high school. Okay, thank you, Joshua, for sending in the comments.
Were you also a student of the same high school? So I'm trying to figure out whether it was in Teo.
Okay, we have a caller, but this is from a lady. She said, I met my boyfriend at a friend's get-together party. He took videos and pictures of me I had no idea about. And after that party, we started talking and we ended up dating. That's Emilia. He shot his shot at a party.
That's all.
Caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
morning.
Welcome to GTV Breakfast. We are serving you a la carte. Tell us how you met your partner.
And there was silence.
Hello.
I'm sure he's firing up. He's firing up.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, caller. Yes, he's here. We can hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Madam, every day I'm watching you. Hello, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
I think a proposal,
I'm very
a proposal
interested
is
in this
coming.
conversation.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can
can
hear you.
hear you, sir.
Every day I'm watching you and I'm watching you since every day morning and your program.
Okay.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
This woman, today, in person, I'm just, nice. I like the dressing three.
What's the proposal?
All right.
Somebody has met you.
Thank you, caller.
How did you meet your partner? On GTV Breakfast. That's a good one.
She's not a partner yet. He's just making an application.
Okay, so we have
GTV partner is a
another
good
message from Ahmed, and Ahmed says, I met my partner when visiting my friends. And then somebody is saying, okay, we met on Facebook. She sent me a hi, and we are currently married. That's Macarius Watson. Charlie, the woman shot her shot.
Fine
woman. And it landed her a ring. Kaf, have you been getting any comments in your DMs?
Yeah, yes. It's mostly people are asking me for money.
Oh,
Yeah.
but no proposals?
No proposals, no, no.
Kaf.
No.
Kaf, are you sure?
I met my wife at work.
Right. We have another call on the line. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast.
Good morning. My name is Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Yes.
Nathan, how did you meet your current partner?
Yes, it happened this way. I used to be a divorcee, a single father, a single parent for that matter, and then I used to like food stall. He operates a small restaurant. So I've always been going there, buying food, and then we became addicted. So one day, since she was the one who even proposed to me, in a way, she asked me why I've been buying food from her joint all the time. Don't I have a wife? So the conversation started. She was like, no, I don't have a wife. My wife left me after I came from the UK. She was having issues with other people and all that. So the marriage got break down, and then she said, oh wow, so now buying food always from my store. Why don't you for you to put in your freezer? So that is how it started.
Oh wow.
Yes, so coming to cook for you, then she invited me to her church, and we started going fond of each other, and then one thing led to another, and we are now lovers with children.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Afa, can we say Afa?
My mom,
I love those stories.
my confidant,
Afa, that's it, Afa. Right. St. Mark from Spintex is asking, he's saying that you people should tell us about yours first.
Okay, so
I'll start with T.
What about me?
Where did you meet your current partner?
Didn't the guy just advise us to keep our partners off social media? Why would I bring mine on traditional media?
Okay, so I was working at Choice FM years ago,
Yeah.
and I was the marketing manager, and then these medical students came in looking for support for their programs, you know. So the woman sat in front of me, and the thought that just entered my head is, I'm going to marry this woman. Boom, just like that, you know. And then
straight marriage.
Later on, she said, a thought entered her head that I'm not going to go out with this guy. And then she said, but have you even asked me? And I said to myself, I was asking
I
you in my
you
mind. In the spirit, crying.
Wow, where did you meet your father?
Through a mutual friend.
That's
we have a caller on the line. Hey, caller. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning, caller.
Turn the volume up.
The volume is on.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you lower the volume of your
Good
TV
morning.
set? Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
That's
yes, caller. Yes, it's a lot of mornings. Kindly tell us where you met your partner and how.
All right. Morning. All right. I also met my.
Yes, please go on.
Okay.
I think the telly is still on, so the sound.
My brother, put your volume down to 0, la. True. Put your volume to 0, so we can.
Yeah, you.
Okay. Yes, caller. We can hear you.
I think they will sort that out.
Right.
I've received a message, Valerie. They said you have to say. Somebody sent her. They said, Thelma, you have to say yours. So
to say yours.
we should ask my mom. My mom has a lot to say about that. So that's where I met
your person.
Yes. My mom has a lot to say about
it.
So we have a lady.
People to have a lot to say.
We have a lady. You didn't write your name, but good morning. My friend's boyfriend came to my house with him, and it was love at first sight. We have been together for only 1 year, and we are planning to get married, God willing, next year, January.
I wonder what your friend thinks about that.
Congrats.
Oh, this one is no shooting.
Okay, there's another lady here says that my baby and I met through a friend, hanged out a couple of times, and it is what it is now. We are happy in a relationship.
Okay.
It sounds like you're mutual friends.
Okay, we have a final caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Please, how are you?
We are fine.
Yeah, I met my partner at bank. He's a teller. He was a teller at CBJ Bank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I was going to withdraw a cash.
Okay, so who shot the shot first? Was it you or your partner?
He
shot the shot.
He gave you more money than you wanted, or what? What happened?
My mom sent me to bank to collect a check, and he saw me. He asked me what's it. I said, "Oh, I was having a scarf on my head." He said, "Wow, you have a nice scarf." I said, "Wow, thank you." And he collected my number, and we started chatting.
Bank teller. Bank teller.
Yeah.
The bank tellers, they can.
They are wild.
They are sharpshooters.
If you duku, you they look.
Right.
Me, I just use the ATM because the bank didn't usually come.
Well, we are glad you called. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're married now.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Congrats.
All right.
Do you have any? Okay.
Do you have an account with the bank?
Yes, I have a account.
He's a good market at the bank.
Sergio sent us a message, and Sergio says, I met my current girlfriend with a friend. She posted her pic on his status, and I was like, wow, and took her contact, and we started dating. So that's Sergio there via WhatsApp.
You remember I said Rosalind? She's messaging me. I'm watching and loving it. Rosalind, stop.
People are wild. They're looking at people's statuses and getting...
Okay, so somebody said they met their
current...
current... I met my wife on the way from the stream. I helped her, and we are married for 7 years now. This is Fred from Ho.
Love brewed in the
Did you help her carry the pot of water?
Love brewed in the
Right. So as we've been saying, we are glad you guys have sent us your comments. We are sorry we could not read all. Oh no, I'm going to read this from Akosia. Akosia says, my baby and I met in church and are planning to marry soon.
The babies are many.
But you know that
when are the adults
a lot of people meet people in churches. So do you realize that?
My church.
And we have somebody else who says, I met my partner in front of GBC. Like GBC, we have to.
It's a love zone. Love zone.
We should stand by the roadside bowl.
Right. We promised you earlier on we're going to speak. Have a conversation with somebody who plays the flute, and let the conversation about floaters. He's in studio now. We'll take a break. You meet him. I'll meet him for the first time. Here's a break.
What is this?
Where them day? Our missing children. Where them day? Let
of Ghana, Nkrumah, star of Ghana, everybody toils on the brave and the sweat of...
Welcome back. And so my guest, our guest is Dela Botry. He is a flautist, a flutist. Welcome, 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 welcome. Like, you know you're a legend sitting there in the yellow couch, right? You know you're a legend.
By the grace of God.
Oh. So at GBC, we are celebrating, this is the month of September, and we are celebrating Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Because I know you're a traditional guy and you can like jazz up things and spice things up, can we have you do something a bit patriotic? Because this is 1st September.
Okay,
let's just
sure.
do this. All right, guys. So the last yes. Okay, I'm completely blown away.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so did you like go to a school to learn how to play this? Was it natural? Tell us your beginnings and how you were introduced to the flute.
All right, I started way back, some years back at Russia, not Soviet, but Sakura, Russia.
You mean Ghana, Russia?
Ghana, Russia. That was where I grew up, Dansoman, Russia. Yeah. And I really love the instrument and always been thinking about how to develop the instrument into a certain level.
Okay.
And I was thinking of applying and go to Winneba School, all of you to learn music over there. But I think the time that I was planning, then Pan-African Orchestra heard about me, so they invited me to join their group.
Okay.
Because I knew very well I can read music, theoretical aspect, and write music. Wow. So that was the reason why I joined the Pan-African Orchestra without going to the school. Because everything I'm going to learn from the school, I can learn it from the musicologist, the late Nana Danso. So I was able to learn music theory from his place and continue a little bit when I resigned from the Pan-African Orchestra in '95 and joined the late Professor J. Kitia. He also taught me a little bit of music theory and method of composition of African music.
Okay. Dela, how do you ensure that all the knowledge that you have sitting inside your head is imparted onto the younger generation and people who probably have no idea that there's a whole side of this music genre in Ghana?
I think the most important thing is that, you know, our time is different from these days. In our time, olden days, you have to practice music. As a musician, you call it practical musician. But today, there are a lot of what we call studio recording artists. You go to the studio, the engineer, Kafude sitting down there, he can play the beat for you. He is the one doing the music. You don't understand the music.
Sure.
So if we are talking about E flat, E minor, or a progression that can make the music so beautiful. I mean, if we are talking about the vocal reading, we have our moods. We sing more in the pentatonic moods. And if you go to the northern part of Africa, also have the same thing, pentatonic. If you go to Mali, if you go to Ashanti region, they have both heptatonic and pentatonic. Also, it depends on the tribe where they are coming from. So there are different cultures, and all these things, if you're a musician, you have to know it and know where your composition is standing. Other than that, you have what we call monotonous compositions. My composition is more wild because I'm a versatile musician.
Sure.
I play traditional music, high life music, Caribbean music, folk music, recreational music, jazz music, classical music, all kinds of music. So imagine if I'm going to play with Stevie Wonder that I played with some years back, I cannot go and play the Ghanaian
style, I have to play their style with my Ghanaian traditional instrument.
How was it like when you were working with him?
It was amazing. Stevie Wonder is a very nice guy.
When you went on stage with him, what did you think to yourself?
I was like, is that me? That was 92, but then I was with Pan African Orchestra, and we have